Chapter 3748. Sis, why do you want arsenic? Arsenic trioxide was the scientific name for arsenic. It seemed like Zhu Lingling was quite good at chemistry back then. I want to poison that adulterous couple. Zhu Lingling said angrily. Huh. I thought you were going to commit suicide. Huomin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Suicide? Do you think I'm stupid? Even if I'm going to die, I'll kill them first. Wait, you mean? Huomin was confused. The way this woman asked for arsenic, as soon as she came in, was very scary. Mian, come here. I'll explain it to you. Zhu Lingling waved her hand, and Huomin sat down beside her. She looked at Huomin seriously and said, Gao Ran cheated. Pfft, you're kidding, right? Hearing that Gao Ran cheated, Huomin spat again. Look at me. Do I look like I'm kidding? Zhu Lingling widened her eyes. Then you caught him? No. Then why did you say that Gao Ran cheated? Huomin looked at Zhu Lingling amused. These are the clues that I found on my own. What clues? Tell me and I'll analyze them for you. I've been feeling that something's wrong with Gao Ran recently. He comes home late and always works overtime. He's really busy. Ever since he became the director, hasn't he been a lot more busy than before? Huomin comforted her. Not only that, I did some simple research and found that a new batch of people came to the bureau in June. There's a female university student who graduated from the Public Security University. She's really pretty. Oh my, her little face is so watery. Her big eyes are white and clean, and her smile is so sweet. She's even a head taller than me. I heard that she works in the office of the municipal bureau. Ever since she came, she's had feelings for Gao Ran. Are these your guesses or did you really see them? Huomin asked. I got a private investigator to investigate. I'm so angry. Look at these photos. Zhu Lingling took out an envelope and threw it on the table. Huomin took it out and opened it. He found that these photos were all single people. There were photos of Gao Ran and the female university student, but there were no photos of them. These. Look at their clothes and shoes. Zhu Lingling reminded him. Huomin noticed that Gao Ran's shoes were exactly the same as the girls'. The two clothes were also the same, but the colors were different. Did Gao Ran buy these clothes himself? Huomin continued to ask. I bought them for him. He's a country bumpkin. How could he have such fashionable taste? Zhu Lingling was annoyed. That's strange. Since you bought them for him, then, they can't be a couple's clothes. It's a coincidence, right? Huomin added. To be honest, Gao Ran's feelings for Zhu Lingling were obvious to everyone. To put it bluntly, Huomin believed that Zhu Lingling had an affair, but it was impossible to say that Gao Ran had an affair. Huomin and Qin Chu had known Gao Ran since they were teenagers, so they knew what kind of person he was. Coincidence? How could it be a coincidence? If it was just one or two things, then so be it. There are so many things. Look, hats, sunglasses, so many coincidences. Is it still a coincidence? Zhu Lingling pointed at the photos excitedly. Lingling, then, other than these, do you have any other evidence? Huomin asked calmly. Chapter 3749. Isn't that enough? Zhu Lingling's eyes widened in confusion. How could Huomin be so calm? As her best friend in China, shouldn't he be helping her deal with the adulterer? Lingling, what's the girl's name? How old is she? Did you find out? Damn it, I'm so angry. Tell me, how can girls be so shameless nowadays? Everyone in the city knows that my husband is married. How old is Bu Yuan? She's still trying to seduce him. My old Gao is definitely not as good-looking as your Mr. Qin. He's not even as good-looking as Su Yu. Logically speaking, he shouldn't be attracting so much attention. Zhu Lingling seemed to have a stomach full of grievances. Your old Gao is a good-looking man, okay? He's the youngest director of the city bureau in history. He's the son of a high-ranking official, and comes from a wealthy family. He drives a police car to work, and drives his own private car after work, a million-yuan luxury car. He's resolute in his work, and has a good character. That's what makes him attractive, right? Huomin said with a smile. Damn it. Now that you mention it, it's true. Hey Mian, why are there so many shameless people nowadays? She's young and pretty. Why does she have to be a homewrecker? Zhu Lingling was furious. That's why there are all kinds of birds in the sea. I'm so angry. So Lingling, how do you want to solve it? How? Do you still need to ask? If it's true that he cheated on me, I'll definitely divorce him. But before that, I want to find evidence of his infidelity. The more the better. Then, I'll sue him in court and kick him out of the house with nothing. Let's see if that woman is still willing to live a hard life with him when he has nothing. Humph. Damn it, I'm so angry. It seemed that Zhu Lingling was so angry that she was cursing. Huamin wasn't in a hurry. He just smiled faintly. How can you still laugh? Are you not worried because the fire hasn't reached your house yet? Zhu Lingling glared at Huamian, looking as if she had been wronged. Lingling, you're right. Calm down first. How about this? You haven't laid your cards on the table with Gao Ran yet, right? Not yet. I'm afraid of alerting the enemy. I'm not that stupid. You did the right thing. You can't do it secretly, and you can't be too obvious to Gao Ran. It'll be bad if he finds out. As for me, I'll help you collect more evidence, and then we'll send the adulterers to court, okay? Okay. Zhu Lingling nodded her head, but she still seemed to be angry in her heart. Then Lingling, who will Bui Yuan belong to when you two get divorced? Huamin asked deliberately. It's my son. Of course I'm taking him away. What if the Gao family won't let you? He won't. That bastard Gao Ran would cheat on his wife. I don't think my in-laws will let a scumbag like him raise a child. Besides, if he really marries a mistress, it won't be good for my son. Zhu Lingling said as tears rolled down her cheeks. To be honest, Huamin wasn't serious, because he thought there must be some misunderstanding. Gao Ran would never abandon his wife and child to fool around with a mistress, no matter how beautiful he was. If he really was that kind of person, Gao Ran wouldn't have married Lingling. With his status as a high-ranking official, he could have any woman he wanted. But Huamin couldn't say this to Zhu Lingling. She was so angry that she wouldn't listen to any comforting words. Lingling, calm down. Marriage crises are something we have to go through at our age. You see, Mr. Qin loves me so much, but we still went through the Song Yisher incident. Chapter 3750. How can it be the same? Song Yisher's love is one-sided. My old man is charmed by a young girl. Zhu Linglin was furious at the mention of this. Right. I almost forgot that you've investigated that woman. Tell me about her. I want to see what kind of person your love rival is. Didn't I tell you? She graduated from the Public Security University. She's pretty and curvy. Damn it. She's just a slut. What's her name? Chen Yuning. Age? 25. Home address? She's from the city. She said she's from the east side of the city. I didn't check carefully. Family background? I think she's self-employed. Her family owns a shop. Oh right. It's a shop that sells Crossbridge rice noodles. She's the only daughter of her parents. Yeah. Huamin shook his head thoughtfully. Mian, what do you mean? Do you want me to smash her shop? Ahem. What's in your head? I didn't ask you to smash her shop. Ms. Zhu Lingling, calm down. Ha. Huamin reached out and pinched Zhu Lingling's cheek. It was just like when they were in high school. Mian, you have to help me this time. My heart feels empty. I don't know what to do. Yeah. Don't worry. Your business is my business. That's more like it. Haha. It's so good to have a rich friend. Anyway, if I divorce and have no money, I can take Buyuan out. Yeah. I'll take care of you and your son forever. Haha. You're indeed my best friend from China. After chatting with Huamin, Zhu Lingling felt less depressed. Before leaving, Huamin reminded her repeatedly. He told her not to make trouble, and to follow his orders. He also told her not to ask Gao Ran for help, and not to quarrel or fight. Zhu Lingling nodded and remembered everything. Huamin let out a sigh of relief. After Zhu Lingling left, Huamin looked at the photos again. They were all taken secretly, and they were all solo shots. But look at clothes, shoes, hats, sunglasses, and other similar items. It had to be said that it was too much of a coincidence. There was definitely something fishy going on. However, Huamin leaned on the sofa and looked at the photo carefully. His mind was spinning fast. On the other side, the nurse pushed her to Suyu's room in a wheelchair. When she reached the door, she was still very nervous. It was as if he didn't dare to meet Suyu. Miss Han, are we going in? Wait, let me think. She didn't know what to say to Suyu. She wanted the nurse to push her back, because she wasn't ready. At this time, Lady Sue arrived, followed by the nanny and bodyguards. Yao Yao. Sue. Auntie, hello. Han Yueyao greeted her awkwardly and stuttered. Why are you out? Can you move? I'm fine. Sister Mian said I can walk in a wheelchair. That's great. I was just about to ask the nanny to bring you the bone soup. Look, I stewed a lot. Lady Sue raised the thermos in her hand. Thank you, Auntie. What are you doing at the door? Did you go to see you? Let's go. I'll push you in. You is quite worried about your injury. This time he'll be more at ease. Before Han Yueyao could speak, Lady Sue handed the thermos to the nanny behind her. Then, she pushed Han Yueyao into Suyu's room. Han Yueyao felt like her scalp was about to explode. How sudden was this? Chapter 3751. When Lady Sue wheeled Han Yueyao in, Suyu was lying down and watching TV. Hearing the sound, Suyu turned around. He saw Han Yueyao in a hospital gown. She was very good-looking without makeup, but because she was weak, her complexion looked a little pale. You look who's here. Mrs. Sue had been trying to matchmake the two of them, especially after this car accident. Although she knew that Suyu was seriously injured in order to protect Han Yueyao. However, Lady Sue didn't complain. Instead, she felt that since her son could protect this little girl, she must be extraordinary. When Suyu looked over, Han Yueyao pursed her lips and looked a little shy. President Sue. Are you paralyzed? Why are you in a wheelchair? Seeing Han Yueyao enter in a wheelchair, Suyu's heart sank. Han Yueyao. What are you talking about? Yaoyao's leg hasn't recovered yet. Mian knows she can't walk, so she asked the nurse to get a wheelchair. Lady Sue glared at her son. Only then did Suyu look like he suddenly understood. You two talk first. The bone soup is a little cold. I'll go to the cafeteria to heat it up. In order to create an opportunity for the two of them to be alone, Lady Sue pushed Han Yueyao to Suyu's bedside and left. Hey, Auntie Sue, Han Yueyao felt that it was inconvenient for her to move, so she just sat there and looked at Suyu. Wasn't she a little too stupid? Are you still in pain? Han Yueyao didn't expect Suyu to be so gentle. He didn't argue or criticize her. Instead, he asked if she was still in pain. His words warmed Han Yueyao's heart. It doesn't hurt much anymore. I'm young and have a good physique. You make it sound like I'm in my 70s or 80s. I'll recover soon. It's good that you're fine. Otherwise, I think I'll feel guilty for the rest of my life. She lowered her head as if apologizing to Suyu. Why are you feeling guilty? I'm the one who got you into this mess. If you weren't in my car, and I didn't insist on sending you home, maybe you wouldn't have been in a taxi. Suyu smiled. No, I didn't think of it that way. I only know that if you hadn't turned the steering wheel in time, maybe I would have been. In the end, her voice dropped to a whisper. Ayo, that's enough. Let's not put on a pitiful act here. Aren't we all fine now? The world is blessed. Suyu did not like to stir up emotions, so when he saw that the atmosphere was a little off, he immediately changed the situation. President Sue, I'll never make you angry again, and I'll never talk back to you again. Oh my, has his temperament changed? Suyu was amused. No, in any case, you're my savior now. I can't continue to diss you like that. I feel uneasy. Han Yueyao said slowly. Suyu nodded. Yeah, you're right. But can you give me back the money you cheated me out of? Han Yueyao. Haha. I was just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I don't need that money. Seeing Han Yueyao's nervous expression, Suyu couldn't help but laugh. Don't laugh so hard. Don't stretch your wound. It's okay. I don't have any major wounds on my body. They're all in my head. Suyu pointed at his head. Han Yueyao lowered her head and didn't speak. After the car accident, she felt something had changed between them. No, to be exact, her feelings for Suyu were different from before. Little money grubber. What's your plan after you get out of the hospital? Suyu stared at the TV, but asked Han Yueyao. Chapter 3752. What other plans can I have? I'll just go back and do odd jobs. Han Yueyao pouted. Don't say that. To be honest, it's an honor for you to be able to do odd jobs at Imperial Star. After all, many people want to work here but can't. After all, The odd jobs in our company earn more than 5,000 yuan a month, plus insurance and housing. Han Yueyao. So what you're saying is that I should thank you. Seeing Suyu being narcissistic again, Han Yueyao didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Of course. So, when I go back, I have to work hard and do my odd jobs well. This is called returning to the basics, understand? Don't look at how much glory those celebrities have, and how much praise they receive. But the pressure they face is also 10 times, or 100 times more than ordinary people. To be honest, it's not an exaggeration at all. I often hear people say that it's better to do odd jobs at Imperial Star. They don't get paid and live happily. That's called saying it without thinking. It's just a saying, don't take it seriously. President Su, you're a big president, how can you believe such nonsense? Haha. Han Yueyao laughed at Suyu for being too naive. Not everyone cares so much about money, status, and reputation. The path of the entertainment industry isn't easy. Look at An Yang. Isn't it the best choice for him to retire when he's at the peak? I do admire An Yang's approach, but people are different. They want different things, so the results are naturally different. Han Yueyao sighed. What about you? What do you want? Suyu looked at Han Yueyao's slightly haggard face, and was curious. This woman was utilitarian. She was very well behaved when she was a trainee, and she was still very well behaved when she was doing odd jobs in the performance department. She didn't seem like a person who didn't know her place. But it didn't seem like the case that she didn't want fame and fortune. She loved money more than anyone else. So, Suyu was conflicted. He rarely paid attention to Han Yueyao before. But now that they were talking, he really wanted to know what she wanted the most. Hearing this, Han Yueyao's eyes flickered. At that moment, she seemed to be moved. In the end, she chose to tell the truth. What I want is very simple. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I just want to earn a decent income. As long as I can earn more money, so that my parents won't have to suffer so much. I don't mind playing small roles every day. You care so much about your income? That shouldn't be the case. You're not a poor peasant. Suyu was puzzled. Why did this lady care so much about her income? Nowadays, even university students from rural areas would look at their prospects and future when looking for a job. Han Yueyao came from a big city in Jing City and wasn't so stingy. Although I'm not from a poor family, I'm not from a rich family either. My parents are ordinary workers. My mother is an upright person. Although she's a teacher, she's never had a shady income. Both of them have been living frugally all these years. With their meager salary, they supported me to go to such a luxurious dance academy. I think I'm a burden to them. Suyu didn't say anything after hearing this, but he could understand Han Yueyao's thoughts. Then she continued. When I was young and immature, I only liked dancing and didn't want to give up. I didn't think about whether my parents could afford it. Later, when I went to university and came back during the holidays, I accidentally opened the fridge and found that they were eating very poorly. Only when I came back could their lives improve. They usually eat cabbage and potatoes. To fulfill my dream, my parents ate cabbage and potatoes for so many years. Now shouldn't I repay them? Chapter 3753. Han Yueyao wasn't a crybaby, but for some reason, tears welled up in her eyes when she thought about it. Her voice was choked with sobs. She swore she wasn't acting for Suyu. She really felt sad when she thought about it. Otherwise, she would have left her hometown and come to this strange city. She would have been bullied for doing menial jobs at Imperial Star. What did she want? Suyu seemed to be moved as well. It seemed that he had wronged this girl. He thought she was vain and loved money because she was young. It seemed she loved money for a reason, for her parents. What else could he say? Mian treats you well. She found Jiangyi for you, right? Yeah. Sister Mian treats me well. Yeah. Dr. Hu treats everyone well. Suyu smiled gently at the mention of Huamin. But I might have to let her down again. Let her down? Suyu felt something was wrong with her words. I originally agreed to star in Jiang Ye's new film, but now that I'm injured, I can't make it in time. I'm not a big shot, so I can't ask him to give me a stunt double. So I've already told his manager that I'm giving up. You're giving up? Suyu was surprised. Yeah. I don't want to be a dog in the manger. I'll give the opportunity to someone else. I'll wait until I recover. Suyu didn't feel good about it. No matter what the reason was, Han Yueao gave up on the new film with Jiang Yi because of the car accident. One had to know that for a newcomer like her, this was an opportunity to stand out. If she was lucky, she might become famous overnight. But she gave up just like that. And she had a good reason. Just like that, Suyu gained a new understanding of Han Yueao. At this moment, Suyu's expression changed slightly. Ahem. Han Yueao. What? You can leave now. Why? I need to use the toilet. Suyu felt a little awkward. After all, he was talking about this in front of a girl. I'm alone in this room. If I go out, who can help you? Han Yueao glared at him. You're in a wheelchair yourself. How can you help me? Suyu rolled his eyes. Then I can use a drink bottle to catch it for you. Han Yueao couldn't help but laugh. Scram. Alright, stop fooling around. Actually, I'm not that badly injured. I can stand up slowly and help you to the bathroom. The problem is that I can't get up now, Suyu said innocently. Why don't I connect it with a bottle? Look, there's an activated bottle here. She picked up the half-empty bottle on the table and activated it. Get the hell out of here. Suyu's face darkened. He just couldn't figure out how there could be such a weird woman. Don't you know what shame is? You want to use a bottle to catch it? Even if she didn't, he didn't. President Su, did you transmigrate from a primitive society? What era are we living in? Besides, you're a patient now. If all the nurses in the hospital were as shy as you, wouldn't it be a mess? The problem is you're not a nurse. Suyu emphasized. The problem is, you'd rather let the nurses take advantage of you than let me take advantage of you? People say that you should keep the goodies within your own family. I'm your employee. Can't you give me any benefits? Suyu was stunned. Damn it. Was this still considered an employee benefit? Han Yueao, don't you have any shame? Suyu was furious. It was too damn shameful. Chapter 3754. If I don't want it, do you want me to help you? She continued to challenge Suyu's patience. For the first time in his life, he didn't know what to do with her. At this moment, Lady Su came back with a bowl of hot bone soup. Suyu looked as if he had grasped at a life-saving straw. Mom, you came back just in time. What's wrong? Lady Su looked at the two kids with a smile. Hurry up and get her out of here. Did you quarrel with Yao again? How dare I? Hurry up and get her out of here. I can't hold it in anymore. Suyu felt like he was on the verge of a breakdown. Mrs. Su was dumbfounded when she heard this. While Suyu's face darkened, she was wheeled out by a nurse. Walking out of Suyu's room, she couldn't help but laugh. Who said Lord Su was a pervert and didn't have a woman? She was too cute, wasn't she? Her shy look just now was so silly and adorable. On the other side, Huamin was still thinking about Lingling's request after work. So, she asked the driver to drive her to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. She called Gao Ran, but Gao Ran seemed to be busy again. Mian, wait for me. I have a small meeting here, and we'll go to you in a minute. Gao Ran hung up the phone and ordered his men to treat Huamin well. The young policeman who served Huamin poured a cup of hot water for Huamin. Please wait a moment. Our director will be here in a minute. Okay, thank you. With a smile, Huamin took the cup of hot water and thanked him. At this moment, she thought of something and asked curiously, Mr. Policeman, may I ask who is Chun Yuning? Little Chun. Ha. She's over there. Hearing the policeman's words, Huamin looked in the direction but didn't see anyone. Where did she go? She was here just now. She probably went to the washroom. Please wait for a moment. She will be back soon. Do you want to call her over? Because Huamin was the chief's guest, the young policeman's attitude towards Huamin was particularly warm. Oh no, I'm just asking. Alright, then I'll get to work first. Alright. After sending the police away, Huamin sat there and continued to wait. Then, he leisurely drank hot water while the bodyguards were waiting outside the door. This kind of attitude also attracted the attention of all kinds of gossips in the city bureau. Hey, did you guys see that? That's Mrs. Chin, a young lady from GK? It's true. My appearance is very ordinary. I'm not a beauty. Yeah, but she's very capable. I heard her husband dotes on her a lot. Look, she's pregnant with her second child. I heard that she has bodyguards following her everywhere. At first, I thought it was a bluff, but now I know it's true. Look, there are 6 bodyguards outside the door. Yeah. I heard she and her husband are good friends with our director. Oh no, to be exact, they're childhood friends. They've known our director for many years. No wonder people are so polite to her when they see her. I'm so envious. No woman can be so beautiful. While they were talking, Chen Yuning came back from the washroom and slowly returned to her seat. Huamian saw the girl immediately. She was indeed a beauty. Even from afar, Huamian could tell that the girl had a delicate face. Chapter 3755. Huh. She's indeed a beauty. No wonder I'm so nervous about her. Huamian smiled faintly. At this moment, Gao Ran walked out of his office. The buttons on his police uniform were unbuttoned, revealing a black t-shirt underneath. Gao Ran had worked in the municipal bureau for many years. Young, he was experienced and had solved countless big cases. Therefore, he was highly respected by the police officers in the municipal bureau. Chief Gao. Chief Gao. Everyone greeted him. Huamian didn't speak, but watched quietly. Sure enough, when Gao Ran walked past Chen Yuning, the woman stood up with a swoosh. Chief. What's up? Gao Ran's attitude was very normal. He wasn't as easily seduced as Zhu Lingling had described. You must be tired from working overtime. I made you a cup of coffee to wake you up. Thank you. Gao Ran didn't seem to think too much about it. He took the coffee and walked over without stopping. Behind him, Chen Yuning looked at Gao Ran with infatuation in her eyes. Huamian saw that something was wrong and confirmed his speculation. It seemed that this was a story of how the prince had no dreams, but the goddess had a heart. Gao Ran was young, handsome, resolute, and steady in his work. He held a high position at such a young age and came from a high-ranking family. He was full of nobility. The girl had just graduated from college. As soon as she came in, she was surrounded and flattered by many male colleagues. Yet, he had a special liking for his immediate superior. Even though she knew her boss was married with a wife and children, she still didn't want to give up. At this thought, Huamian thought, no matter how beautiful she was, once she became a mistress, she would become extremely ugly. Mian. Gao Ran had walked up to Huamian. Are you done? Yeah, I was working overtime for a meeting. Didn't I tell you to call me if you need me? Why are you here? Gao Ran sat opposite Huamian. Then he placed the coffee on the table. Huamian glanced at it. It was a Starbucks cup. This was not as simple as making a cup of coffee. It seemed that the girl was very considerate. Yeah, I'm fine. It's on my way home after work. You're so pregnant, don't run back and forth. If anything happens, how am I going to explain it to your husband? He'll chop me up. After Gao Ran said that, he laughed to himself. The surrounding policemen were also dumbfounded when they saw their usually serious chief talking and laughing with a woman. Chen Yuning glanced at them from time to time. How's the investigation going? I found some clues. What is it? Huamian's heart skipped a beat. Do you remember I told you that Zhao Fu adopted a child before? He couldn't afford to raise the child and sent him back. Yes. That child is probably Zhao Fu's biological son. A few years ago, he had a relationship with a massage girl who worked in a hair salon. It's said that they lived together for more than a year. After the baby was born, the girl couldn't stand Zhao Fu's lack of money and ran away. What about the child? The child had congenital heart disease. Zhao Fu sent him to an orphanage. Later, he took him back and sent him back. This man is really... Huamian didn't know what to say. Such a man didn't deserve to be a parent. What did he think the child was? He sent him to an orphanage, and then took him back. Was the child a toy? Here's the suspicious part. 1 week before Zhao Fu's accident, the child received a mysterious huge sum of money and had a heart transplant operation. Oh, a huge sum of money? Huamian raised his eyebrows. That was indeed the key point. Chapter 3756. Yeah, a huge sum of money. How much is it? Huamian asked. 1 million. That's indeed a huge sum of money. Huamian nodded. That's why I think it's strange. Zhao Fu's kid hasn't received any funding for years. So how did he suddenly get the money for the operation? When I went to the orphanage to investigate, the orphanage told me that they received a huge sum of money from a mysterious person who wanted the operation for the kid. It's too much of a coincidence. So just as I guessed, Zhao Fu was ordered by someone to hit Suyu on purpose. That sum of money must be from a transaction. Yeah, I think so too. Gao Ran completely agreed with Huamin. Did you check the source of the money? Yes, it's from a bank account. That's even more suspicious. It seems the person was afraid that we'd investigate and didn't leave any traces. Huamin's tone was heavy. Yeah, so I'm more and more convinced that your guess is right. This time, it wasn't a coincidence. Someone must have planned it. But do you think it's possible that they came for Han Yueao? Maybe the target is Han Yueao, and Suyu was just unlucky to be in the car? Hee. How's that possible? Huamin chuckled. Of course it's possible. I did some research, and Han Yueao isn't very popular in Imperial Star. We can't underestimate the competition among the female stars, Gao Ran guessed. But Han Yueao isn't famous yet. Who would spend so much money to kill someone who isn't famous yet? Wouldn't that be crazy? Besides, everyone in our city knows Suyu's car and license plate number. I don't believe those people would ignore Suyu just to kill Han Yueao. You're right. So in conclusion, someone wants Suyu dead. Yes, someone wants him dead. Huamin was worried. Then I'll have to have a good chat with Lord Su when I'm free. I'll see how many enemies he has. Gao Ran couldn't help but laugh helplessly. No need. I don't think he knows it himself. He won't be able to explain it clearly. Moreover, he's still recuperating. It's better not to tell him about it first. You and Qin Chu are really a couple. He said so too. My husband said the same thing? Huamin was puzzled. Yes. Qin Chu also seems to attach great importance to this matter. He's also investigating it. Of course. This is equivalent to a ticking time bomb. If we don't find out who it is, it's hard to say who knows what will happen in the future. Lord Su has always been careless. But we have to help him find out who's behind this. Have you eaten? Do you want me to treat you to a meal? But I don't have much money with me. I can only treat you to the canteen in our bureau. Forget it. I'll go home and eat. It's okay if you don't treat me well, but my baby will be hungry. Haha. Okay. Go home and eat. We'll have dinner together when we're free. Gao Ran chuckled. By the way, is that girl new here? She's very pretty. Huamin glanced at Chen Yuning and asked casually. Oh. Little Chun. She came here in June. She just graduated from the police academy this year. She's very pretty. She looks like a star. It's a pity that such a pretty girl is a policewoman. Huamin brought it up on purpose. Then, he observed Gao Ran's reaction. Pretty? I think she's average. Maybe men have different aesthetic standards from you. Gao Ran touched his nose. He didn't know why Huamian would suddenly talk about a young policeman. Does she have a boyfriend? Huamin asked again. Chapter 3757. Gao Ran was surprised by Huamin's question. I really don't know. As a leader, I don't have the nerve to ask my subordinates these questions. Gao Ran scratched his head and chuckled. Huamin stared at Gao Ran's expression with a smile, confirming that Gao Ran didn't know the answer. It seemed Lingling had met a strong opponent this time. Why was she strong? Because her husband didn't even realize that a pretentious bitch was about to steal him. Huamin was almost sure that Chen Yuning's love for Gao Ran was one-sided. Little by little, they tried to attract Gao Ran's attention and interest. But obviously, this was just the beginning. Lingling was right to be sensitive. She must kill this rival in love while it was still in the cradle to avoid future troubles. Hey, why are you asking these questions, Mian? You're acting strange today. Gao Ran wasn't stupid and thought Huamin's questions were irrelevant. Yeah, we have some excellent male doctors at Southside, but they're all single. So as their leader, I'm very worried about them. Whenever I see a beautiful single girl, I'll try to find a partner for them. You're a good leader. You're so concerned about your employees. With a chuckle, Gao Ran suddenly turned his head and yelled, Little Chun, come here. Coming, Chief Gao. Hearing Gao Ran call her, Chen Yuning immediately walked up with her signature smile. He had to admit that this woman was very pleasing to look at up close, and her smile was very comfortable. But Huamin found it hard to believe what a scheming woman she was. Little Chen, do you have a boyfriend? Gao Ran asked directly. Chief Gao. Chen Yuning was surprised by Gao Ran's direct question and blushed. It's okay. Tell me the truth. I'm just asking. I haven't had a boyfriend since I started university, Chen Yuning said in a low voice, meaning that she had been single for a long time. Huamin smiled and said, Does that mean that Miss Chen had one before university? Chen Yuning felt awkward. She immediately explained, Not really. It's just that when we were in high school, I had a crush on a straight-A student in my class. But at that time we were both focused on our studies. Later on, when we went to university, the two of us were separated and nothing happened. Huamin had a deep look in his eyes. This woman was really good at answering questions. No wonder Lingling was no match for her. With Lingling's personality, she was destined to be unable to deal with high-level scheming bitches. No, that's great. My friend wants to introduce a boyfriend to you. Gao Ran interrupted. Chen Yuning's face froze. Only then did Huamian explain. There are a lot of excellent male doctors at Southside, and they're all single. When I saw Miss Chen just now, I thought you were excellent, so I asked Chief Gao. However, he didn't know if you were single, so he asked. Please forgive me if I offended you. No. You're too kind. You're doing this for my sake. Chen Yuning kept addressing Huamin politely, as if she were well educated. Little Chen, you can arrange a date with my friend, and ask her to arrange a blind date for you. Gao Ran seemed to be enthusiastic about it. Huamin looked at Chen Yuning with a smile, waiting for her response. She knew that this woman wouldn't agree to her going on a blind date, especially in front of Gao Ran. Chapter 3758. Sure enough, Chen Yuning smiled. She glanced at Huamin, and then turned to Gao Ran beside her. But Chief Gao, I'm sorry. My family has some prejudice against doctors. Back then, my grandmother was in the final stages of cancer. She had a conflict with the doctors when she was hospitalized in the county. Later, my grandmother passed away. My family has always felt that those doctors didn't do their job. They didn't try their best to save my grandmother, because they failed to get red packets from her. Since then, my father has a deep misunderstanding of doctors. Someone has recommended it to him before, but my father doesn't agree with me at all. Chen Yuning said emotionally with tears in her eyes, making it seem like she wasn't making it up. Of course, she didn't make it up. She just exaggerated the story. Huamin saw through her trick at a glance. But as a man, Gao Ran was completely in the dark. I see. That's really unfortunate. Gao Ran looked solemn and sympathetic. In that case, forget it. I'll introduce other suitable bachelors to you in the future. Thank you, Vice Director Hua. Chen Yuning thanked him with a smile. Little Chen, you can go back to your work. Okay, Director Gao. Chen Yuning nodded and went back to her post. Huamin had a taste of this high-level green tea bitch and was impressed by her skills. Her acting skills were comparable to an Oscar-winning actress. After Song Yisher's death, he hadn't seen such a powerful woman in a long time. Although she was quiet, only a silent dog would bite. After exchanging a few words with Gao Ran, Huamin got into the car and returned to South Hill Manor. After playing with the kids for a while, Huamin was a bit tired. He was about to go upstairs to rest when Qin Chu came back. Honey, you've been going out early and coming home late these days. Yeah, my company has been busy buying a pharmaceutical company and has been evaluating it. A pharmaceutical company? Huamin was a little surprised. Yes, a biopharmaceutical company. Due to a health supplement that was suspected of cheating the elderly, the price was inflated, and the content was impure. The big boss also fled to the United States. Now, only his son and wife are left to clean up the mess. The mother and son seem to know that there's nothing they can do, so they've decided to sell it. Then why should we buy it? We've never been involved in drugs before. Huamin held Qin Chu's arm as they walked upstairs. There wasn't before, but there is now. Why? It's because our Vice Director Hua is about to be promoted to hospital director. After I acquire the pharmaceutical factory, I'm going to sell the medicine directly to South Side and the first hospital. What's wrong, honey? Can you make an exception for me? Chin Chu teased her on purpose. TSK, you wouldn't be interested in this small amount of money. Tell me why. Huamin knew that Chin Chu was a man who never cared about money. He definitely didn't do this for the sake of huge profits. Honey, don't you think the prices of the medicine on the market are inflated? Yes, I do. Then, don't you think the ingredients are getting lesser and lesser? For example, in the past, you could just take one cold pill. Now, you can't even take a box of it. That's true. The domestic market for medicine is indeed a mess. It's a bad start. Huamin had worked in the hospital for many years and knew this unspoken rule. So, I want to build a pharmaceutical factory that's truly beneficial to the people. The price is fair and the ingredients are good. It's okay if we make less money. But I hope that many people won't forget to buy medicine for their illnesses. Wow. Honey, you're so grand. Chin Chu didn't seem like a Mary Sue. He only cared about the people in his family and wasn't interested in the outside world. Huamin felt that there must be a reason for his words. President Chin, tell me your original intention of acquiring the pharmaceutical factory. Huamin blocked Chin Chu's way and acted cute in front of him, trying to get the secret from her husband. Chapter 3759. Do you really want to hear it? Chin Chu lowered his head, his eyes filled with adoration. Yes. Then give me a kiss. Huamin was speechless. Honey, you've become naughty. You even know how to threaten people. Huamin put her hands on her hips and reasoned with him. So, do you still want to hear it? Yes, yes. Huamin nodded her head like a chicken pecking at rice. Then she quickly kissed Chin Chu's cheek. No, Mr. Chin said. Huamin was speechless. Then what do you want? Shouldn't you kiss me on the mouth? Mr. Chin protested. Please. This is a public place. It'll be bad if our parents and children see us. Even if Uncle Lee sees us, it'll be awkward. Huamin glanced around and saw that they were in the corridor on the second floor. There were many people walking around. So, we can go back to the bedroom. Before Huamin could say anything, Chin Chu pulled her all the way to the spacious master bedroom on the second floor. Okay, no one's here now. Mr. Chin closed his eyes and looked like he was enjoying it. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She knew that if she didn't kiss this man properly today, she wouldn't be able to get away with it. As a result, she planted a kiss on Chin Chu's lips, for some reason. After being together for so many years, they had 2 children. When Huamin touched Chin Chu, she was still very excited and shy. It was just like their first kiss. Who said that after being married for so long, they were like left and right hands that didn't feel anything? That was pure nonsense. They were still very excited, okay? Honey, can you tell me now? Huamin pouted and asked coquettishly. Come sit here. Huamin patted his thigh and gestured for Huamin to sit in his arms. Huamin dragged her heavy body and slowly climbed up. Then, she sat in Mr. Chin's arms like a koala. Chin Chu hugged her just like that. And the 2 of them were just like before. An employee of the company applied for an advance payment a while ago. Because he wants an advance payment of 300,000, he asked me to sign it. Chin Chu said. What level of employee? The most basic job is a programmer, with a monthly salary of about 8,000. Then an advance of 300,000 is quite a lot. It's almost 4 years of his annual salary. Yeah, I shouldn't have signed it. After all, the company doesn't have such a precedent. But after understanding the situation, I found out that his child is sick with leukemia and needs a lot of money for a bone marrow transplant. Is there no insurance? Huamin was puzzled. No, this employee comes from a mountainous area, and his parents are farmers. He doesn't know much about insurance and thinks it might be a scam, so he has never applied for insurance before. That is indeed troublesome. Huamin felt a little regretful. Yes, so he had no choice but to apply to the company, but I didn't approve it. Ah, you didn't approve it? Huamin was a little shocked. Although her husband was usually cold and aloof, he wasn't this cold. What I mean is, I didn't use the company's name to give him the money, but I lent it to him as an individual. After hearing Chin Chu's words, Huamin finally understood. She wrapped her arms around Qin Chu's neck. Honey, is that why you wanted to open a pharmaceutical factory? I chatted with him, and he told me some things. Later, I found out that in some poor areas medical care isn't very advanced, and it's very difficult to treat illnesses. Some elderly people don't even want to buy medicine when they're sick, because they don't think they can afford it. So I wanted to do something. I'm not that generous to say that I'm doing charity, but I think I'm doing good for our unborn child. Qin Chu sighed slightly. If he didn't know better, Qin Chu wouldn't have believed that there were still many people who couldn't afford to buy medicine and treat illnesses. Honey, what kind of story did you hear that gave you this idea? Huomin felt that Qin Chu must have been touched by something for him to make such a big decision. Chapter 3760. Qin Chu sighed slightly and tightened his arms around Huomin. The employee told me that last year, there was an elderly couple who stayed behind in his hometown. Their son and daughter were both out of town and didn't come home all year round. The old man collected junk for a living, and the old woman was mentally ill. The old man took care of his wife to make ends meet. Later, the old man's health deteriorated day by day. He fell sick and couldn't get up. However, he still couldn't bear to buy or treat his illness. In the end, after struggling for a few days, he thought of a way. He set fire to his house and burned himself. Perhaps he was afraid that if he died, no one would take care of his wife, so he burned the old woman as well. Upon hearing this, Huomin almost burst into tears. His heart ached as if it was being squeezed by something. Although he didn't know this person, he still felt very sad when he heard this. They both lived their lives, but why were they so different? Some people lived in heaven, while others lived in hell. What about the old man's son and daughter? Huomin asked in a choked voice. When they heard the news, they hurried back to collect the bodies. Then, they sold the old man's house and land and left again. What an animal! Huomin cursed as he clenched his fists in anger. Qin Chu hugged Huomin and continued. So Mian, I think, if the medicine on the market wasn't so ridiculously expensive, the price was more affordable, and the quality was better, perhaps this tragedy wouldn't have happened. A box of cold medicine that costs more than 100 yuan isn't a surprise to me. But for those who don't have enough money, they can't afford it. Yes, I worked in the hospital. I know how it feels to want to treat someone but can't afford it. Huomin lowered his head. That's why I plan to enter the pharmaceutical industry. But honey, if we lower the price and change the ingredients, won't we attract jealousy from other people in the industry? There are despicable people in every industry. We're not doing business to the extreme, and we're not leaving no room for others to survive. We're just doing our own business. If someone doesn't like us and wants to cause trouble, then bring it on. After all, we have a lot of enemies. Qin Chu smiled. Hubby, I like how mighty and domineering you are. I admire you so much. Huomin hugged Qin Chu and pressed her cheek against his. Qin Chu made his decision after careful consideration. He must have gone through repeated tests and verifications before making this purchase. After talking about the pharmaceutical factory, Huomin suddenly thought of Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling's crisis. Therefore, she briefly told Qin Chu what had happened. After hearing this, Qin Chu said with certainty, I can guarantee that Gao Ran definitely doesn't know, and he doesn't have the intention to do so. I believe her, but that woman is obviously trying to seduce Gao Ran. She even purposely made Lingling and other people misunderstand. Otherwise, why would she immediately buy the same clothes as Gao Ran? They really look like a couple. Indeed, that girl is very scheming. Why don't I ask old Gao to come out and talk about this? From Qin Chu's point of view, Gao Ran cared a lot about his family, especially his wife and children. Therefore, if he told Huomian directly, there might not be so much trouble. Hey, don't. Let me handle this. Do you want to help your best friend get rid of the mistress? Qin Chu smiled slightly as he looked at Huomin, who was full of fighting spirit. Yes, I have a way to deal with her. I must teach her a lesson and tell her. There's no good in being a mistress, and how shameful it is to destroy other people's families. Okay. Our Dr. Hua is the best. Okay, go take a shower and go to bed. After the two finished talking, They were about to go to bed when they heard a loud cry from outside the door. "Mommy! Daddy! Open the door!" Chapter 3761. It sounds like Little Bean's voice. Huamin immediately got up. Chin-Chu got out of bed and opened the door. Sure enough, there was a little puppy standing at the door. Little Bean's hair stood up like a Tibetan mastiff. Her face was covered in tears. She was wearing a little nightgown and holding a doll in her hand. "Why are you crying?" Chin-Chu squatted down and picked up his daughter. Then he frowned slightly. This was because he could clearly feel that the back of his daughter's butt was wet. Did she pee in her pants? Chin-Chu was incredulous. Pudding and Little Bean rarely peed in their pants since they could remember. They could handle their own pee and were very clean. Grandma often praised them. But today, what was going on? "Daddy, I'm sorry." Little Bean cried even harder and buried her head in Chin-Chu's shoulder. "Pee in your pants, Little Bean?" Huamin was also incredulous. "Mommy, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it." "Where's Sis?" Chin-Chu asked her. "She's in the room. She told me to turn myself in." "Turn yourself in?" Chin-Chu was speechless. This word was quite appropriate. "Then what's wrong with you? Did you pee in your pants?" Huamin was puzzled. Although Little Bean was naughty and liked to eat, she wouldn't lose control of her bowels. "Mommy, here's what happened." Seeing that his daughter wanted to explain, Chin-Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He carried her in and put her on the sofa. He took out a tissue and wiped her tears. "I was very sleepy today and went to bed early. When I fell asleep, Sis was still texting Yin-Chu. Get to the point, little ancestor." Huamin was both angry and amused. "The point is, after I fell asleep, I had a dream. I dreamt that I had to pee. Then, I looked around for a toilet and finally found one. Then I heard someone whistling. I couldn't help but pee. I thought I peed in the toilet. But when I woke up, wah wah wah." At this critical moment, Little Bean burst into tears again. "Alright, it's just peeing your pants. Don't cry. Look, your throat is hoarse." Chin-Chu was also distressed. "Mion, help her wash up. I'll go get a new pair of pajamas and underwear." With that, Chin-Chu opened the door and left. Huamin held Little Bean's hand and led her to the bathroom. He filled the bathtub for her and then took another shower. "Mommy, are you angry with me?" "No, you said you didn't do it on purpose," Huamin answered as he applied body wash on the baby. "Yeah, I really didn't do it on purpose. I'll be more careful in the future. Can you not tell Auntie Lingling about this?" "Why?" "Because Aunt Lingling likes to gossip. If she knows, she'll tell Buyuan, and Buyuan will laugh at me. If he knows that I pee my pants, he won't like me anymore." Little Bean's little mouth blabbered on and on. Huamin was speechless. "You're thinking too much." "Hee. Promise me, okay, Mommy?" Okay. I won't tell Auntie Lingling." "I can't tell Auntie Xiaowei either. Even if Yin-Chu knows, he'll tell Buyuan. Then I'll become a laughing stock." Okay. Mommy won't tell anyone." Huamin felt defeated by his daughter. When Chin-Chu went to the bedroom next door to get clothes, Pudding was playing with her phone. "Daddy, come and get clothes for Little Bean." "Yeah. Didn't you and Mommy teach her a lesson about peeing her pants?" "She didn't do it on purpose. Why should I teach her a lesson?" Chin-Chu smiled. "Then why don't you ask her what she did before she went to bed?" Pudding looked calm. "It sounds like there's more to it." Chin-Chu narrowed his eyes and walked over to Pudding. Chapter 3762. Even if Daddy doesn't know, it's fine. "Daddy, if you want to know, will you tell me?" Chin-Chu sat on the edge of the bed and placed his hand on Pudding's curly hair. Pudding was a calm person, so she rarely acted like a spoiled child. She also rarely had physical contact with Huamin and Chin-Chu. He wasn't like Little Bean, who always hugged his thigh and acted coquettishly to ask for hugs. Therefore, Chin-Chu's subconscious doting made Pudding feel a little embarrassed. It's Little Bean's own fault. She was bored, so she played a game of dare with the kids in the group chat. Those who lost were punished. I heard that Little Bean was asked to drink 2 big bottles of orange juice. "So, she wet the bed?" Chin-Chu raised his eyebrows. "Yeah, but I'm not angry because she wet the bed. I'm angry because she lost to those kids whose IQ is lower than hers." Pudding looked down on Pudding. Okay, Daddy knows. Chin Chu was amused. He didn't expect so many funny stories to happen between kids. Previously, he was wondering why Little Bean rarely wet the bed anymore. So it was because she lost the game and drank so much juice. No wonder. Daddy, will you be angry with Pudding? Do you want Daddy to be angry? No, I don't. Although Pudding is ridiculous, she was scared after she wet the bed. She's afraid that Mommy will spank her. Yeah, I won't be angry with her. Daddy won't be angry with you because you're both Daddy and Mommy's favorite kids. Chin Chu patiently explained to Pudding. Then he looked at Pudding's phone. Are you still playing the stock market? Not much. A few new companies went public. The stock market is a bit unstable. Smart. Remember to tell Daddy if you need anything. Okay. Then you should rest early. Daddy will bring Pudding back in a bit. Okay. After a brief conversation, Chin Chu returned to the bedroom with a new set of pajamas. Huamin had already finished bathing Little Bean. Then, Huamin helped Little Bean change her clothes. Chin Chu carried her back to her room. By the time they were done, it was already 11:30 at night. Chin Chu didn't tell Huamin why Little Bean wet the bed. After all, it wasn't a big deal. Little Bean was only 3 years old. At this age, children did things that should be done at this age. Chin Chu didn't think it was shameful. Honey, when our babies are born, will you continue to love Pudding and Little Bean? Aren't you asking nonsense? They're all my children. What do you think? I lied to you. When the time comes, you will favor your son and neglect your daughter. How could that be? They all say that daughters are their father's little lovers in their previous lives. I'll love them even more. Yes. After all, you have 2 lovers. Huamin chuckled. Since they're here, it means they're fated to be with us. No matter what, they're the sweetest burden in our lives. Chin Chu sighed. Huamin rested his head on his arm, feeling sweetness in his heart. She hadn't dared to imagine that she would be the mother of 3 children one day. It was like a melodramatic drama. Then let's go to bed. The 2 little ones are driving me crazy. You go to bed first. Chin Chu suddenly stood up. Where are you going, honey? Huamin was puzzled. I'm going to wash Little Bean's wet pants. Huamin, I want a daddy like you too. Huamin was surprised that Chin Chu spoiled his daughter so much. Late at night at Southside Recuperation Center, Han Yueao was about to go to bed when she heard someone push open the door. She immediately became alert. Chapter 3763. It's you. Seeing the newcomer, Han Yueao's face turned cold. Hee, aren't you Su Yu's girlfriend? How come you don't even have a bodyguard at the door? You don't even have a caregiver in the house. In fact, Lady Su had arranged a bodyguard for her, but she had refused. Han Yueao thought she wasn't a celebrity, or a big shot, and didn't need a bodyguard. It would be embarrassing. As for the caregiver, Huamin had arranged one for her. But it was late, and the caregiver needed to rest. So, Han Yueao had asked the caregiver to go to bed. She was surprised that Zheng Ro came in at this hour without knocking. You seem to like meddling in other people's business. Han Yueao chuckled. Who said so? I only care about things related to Su Yu. Then go to Su Yu. Don't tell me you can't get in, because of the bodyguards at the door. So you can only vent your anger on me. Vent your anger? Do you deserve it? Zheng Ro glanced at Han Yueao in disdain. You're a commoner with no education, background, and connections. Su Yu likes you only because of your face, right? Even if it's because of my face, I'm better than you. You're not as good-looking as me. You just have a good father. Han Yueao didn't back down. There was no third person here, so the 2 women didn't need to exchange pleasantries. A good father can keep me safe for the rest of my life. What about you? You're like a maid in the same room with Su Yu. When Su Yu got into a car accident, you lost half of your life. Is it worth it? It's worth it. I'm willing to do it. Han Yueao chuckled. What will it take for you to leave Su Yu? Isn't it for money? Yeah, I'm doing it for money. What can you do to me? If you have the ability, why don't you act like what's written in the novels? Don't the evil female supporting characters always throw me a check and tell me to scram after taking the money? If you want to give me money, please give me a little because I have a big appetite. Zheng Ro was defeated by her sharp tongue. No matter what she said, Han Yueyao wasn't angry, but Han Yueyao's words made her furious. You don't mind that Su Yu has another woman in his heart? No, I don't mind at all. You're such a coward. Zheng Ro's face darkened. Do you have any other tricks up your sleeve? If you don't, then get out of here. Don't talk about Sister Mian and Su Yu again. Sister Mian is about to give birth to her second child. Aren't you afraid of being struck by lightning for spreading such rumors? To think that she still believed you and thought that you were a good person. It's only been a while, and you've already let the cat out of the bag. Han Yueyao's words provoked Zheng Ro too much. Therefore, she rushed over in anger and grabbed Han Yueyao's long hair rudely. Injured, Han Yueyao couldn't move or get off the ground, so she was at a disadvantage. Fuck. Wait for me if you dare. If we fight one-on-one again, I'll scratch you to death, you shameless bastard. Han Yueyao cursed in anger. At this moment, the door of the ward was pushed open. A man walked over quickly, grabbed Zheng Ro's collar, and threw her to the ground. She almost screamed in pain. Yao Yao, are you okay? The man tidied up Han Yueyao's messy hair with heartache. You, why are you here? Han Yueyao was surprised to see him here but felt lucky. If he hadn't come, she would have been beaten up by Zheng Ro without being able to fight back. Chapter 3764. I'm a fortune teller. I knew you were going to be beaten, so I came to save you. Lin Hang's joke was so serious that Han Yueyao didn't find it funny. Han Yueyao. Before Han Yueyao could speak, Zheng Ro sneered viciously behind her. I knew you weren't an ordinary person. You're quite capable. Does Su Yu know that you're having an affair? Aren't you afraid you'll lose his favor if he finds out you cheated on him? Shut your stinky mouth. Before Han Yueyao could get angry, Lin Hang couldn't hold it in anymore. Then, he dragged Zheng Ro out of the door. He didn't have any pity for the fairer sex. Turning around, Lin Hang entered the room and sat down by Han Yueyao's bed. Are you okay? She shook her head. I'm fine. She grabbed my hair and it hurts. Good. Aren't you afraid she'll take revenge on you for what you did to her? Do you know who her father is? Her father is the president. It has nothing to do with me. I know she can't bully others. I didn't know a blockhead like you had a sense of justice. Han Yueyao chuckled. Are you hungry? What do you want to eat? I'll buy some food from the cafeteria. No. It's late. I'll get fat if I eat at this time. Are you thirsty? I'll get you a glass of water. Okay. Thank you. After arguing with Zheng Ro for a long time, Han Yueyao felt thirsty. Therefore, when Lin Hang asked her about it, she naturally agreed. Taking the glass of water, Han Yueyao sipped slowly. Lin Hang didn't speak. He just looked at her quietly. It's so late. Why are you here? It's inconvenient. It's fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I was riding a motorcycle with some friends. It's not far, so I came here. Nonsense. It's far from your repair shop. It costs more than 30 yuan to take a taxi. Han Yueyao thought it was cold at night in this weather. It was so cold to ride a motorcycle. At this thought, she felt uncomfortable. I ride fast, faster than a taxi. Lin Hang's face, which hadn't been as cold as ice for a long time, showed a hint of a smile. Xiao Xiao doesn't know you're here, right? I don't know. I don't need to tell her. She's not anyone to me. But you know how much she likes you. How can you bear to? But you know how much I like you. How can you bear to? Oh, not bad. You're applying what you've just learned. You can even imitate my words. Han Yueyao was smart enough to break the awkward atmosphere with a joke. Lin Hang lowered his head, and his slightly long bangs fell on his forehead. He didn't say anything either. Lin Hang. Did you pay for it? Han Yueyao had been wanting to ask him about it. She wanted to call him, but she was afraid she couldn't explain it to him on the phone. It just so happened that Su Xiaoxiao was not here today, so she simply went straight to the point. Yes. How much? Not much. Where did you get so much money? Han Yueyao felt sad. My savings. Bullshit. Xiaoxiao told me everything. She said you don't have money. Han Yueyao exposed him directly. Lin Hang didn't speak. Did you borrow the money from your friends? Give it back. I don't need you to pay for my medical expenses. No. It's really my own money. Then where did you get so much money? Han Yueyao was afraid he would do something wrong to pay the money. Then she would be the culprit. Chapter 3765. Yes, there is a rich second generation who asked me to modify his car. I don't think that person's quality is very good, and he doesn't really love cars. He just wants to show off, so I didn't agree. However, he offered a very high price, 60,000 yuan for each modification. So you agreed? Yeah. Where's your integrity? Han Yueyao was angry. I don't have the face to talk about integrity in life. Besides, I'm just modifying a car for him with my own skills. I won't kill or set fire to it. The problem is that I've paid for the medical expenses. What are you talking about? Han Yueyao was troubled by this blockhead's stubbornness. I just don't want you to use Suyu's money. Han Yueyao. Han Yueyao, don't be friends with Suyu, okay? Han Yueyao didn't feel comfortable with such a straightforward question. First of all, her relationship with Suyu hadn't progressed to that stage yet. They were still friends. They weren't even friends. At most, they were employees and bosses. Second of all, although Lin Hang was a man of few words, his words sometimes made her speechless. Suyu has so many women around him. If he betrays you, you'll be sad. If you're with me, I promise I'll only be good to you. Lin Hang, Xiao Xiao is sincere to you. But I don't like Su Xiao Xiao. But I don't like you either. Han Yueyao knew her words might hurt him, but she didn't like him. I know you don't like me, but I won't give up. I'll always be good to you. What if you fall in love with me in the future? But you know my path. I'm going to enter the entertainment industry. Han Yueyao reminded him. I know. You don't mind. No. Hey, you're really stubborn. Seeing he wouldn't listen to her, Han Yueyao didn't bother to say more and continued drinking water. Do you know who Humin is? She's the vice director of South Side and the youngest genius female doctor. I heard her husband is the president of GK. It seemed this blockhead was smart this time. Yeah, you're right. What? Why mention this person out of the blue? Humin is my cousin. Even if the Su family doesn't pay for my medical bills, my cousin will take care of it. So, I really don't need your help. I've already told my cousin to get the hospital's finance department to return the money to your card. No, just use mine. Lin Hang seemed to be very determined. What? Don't you have to pay me back? Han Yueyao was both angry and amused. In order to comfort this blockhead, she even lied about Humin being her cousin. This guy was still not willing. Of course I don't want you to return it. But why should I take so much of your money for nothing? I don't deserve it, you know? There's no reason. I just don't want you to pay me back. Anyway, you just need to get better. If you return the money, I'll pay you back. Don't worry. I won't force you to date me just because of money. I won't force you to do anything. I'm not that kind of person. Lin Hang was a little agitated. After saying that, he got up and was about to leave. When he was at the door, he suddenly thought of something. He turned around and took out a big dragon fruit from the pocket of his thick jacket. He placed it on the table. I heard this is an imported red heart. It should be very sweet. Try it. Then he turned around and left again. Han Yueyao looked at the huge dragon fruit with a dumbfounded expression. This man was really a weirdo. At this moment, the Gao family was also very lively. When Gao Ran came back from overtime, it was almost 10 p.m. As soon as he entered the house, he felt something was wrong. Chapter 3766. Honey, I'm starving. Gao Ran entered the house, took off his police uniform, and said that he was hungry. Usually, even if Zhu Lingling was already lying down, she would get up and make him some noodles or wontons. But today, honey? He called out twice but no one answered. Curious, Gao Ran walked into the bedroom, looking at the scene before him. Zhu Lingling was lying on the bed with her phone in her hand. Her face was expressionless. Gao Buyuan was beside Zhu Lingling, holding a tablet computer. The mother and son didn't say anything as they played with their phones and computers. You've been calling for a long time. Why aren't you responding? Gao Ran asked with a smile. Still no one responded. Honey, I'm starving. I've been busy this afternoon and haven't eaten. Gao Ran felt wronged and hoped that he could eat supper made by his wife. Really? Then you can starve to death, Zhu Lingling said coldly. Gao ran. Honey, what's wrong? Are you unhappy today? I've been unhappy these days. Can't you tell? Zhu Lingling glared at him. Are you on your period? That's not right. Isn't it the 15th of every month? Gao Ran scratched his head. Get lost. Zhu Lingling didn't like him at all. Son, tell Dad what's going on. Gao Ran placed his hopes on his son. To his surprise, Bu Yuan shrunk his head under the blanket. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Gao Ran. Honey, come on. Let's talk. Gao Ran felt that it was necessary to talk to his wife. She hadn't been in a good mood these days. He sent her WeChat messages during the day, but she ignored him. He thought that she was busy, but now it seemed that wasn't the case. She was in a bad mood. Let's talk. I'm not afraid of you. Zhu Lingling put down her phone and walked straight to the living room. Gao Ran quickly sat down in front of her and said, Honey, if you want to talk, just talk. Don't be so cheap and don't touch me. Stay away from me. Zhu Lingling's attitude was quite fierce. Honey, what's wrong with you? Not to my liking. Why? I don't like you. Why don't you like me? Am I too busy recently and neglected you? Don't be angry. After I finish this case, I'll ask my boss for permission to take a few days off. I'll take you and Bu Yuan to Disneyland, okay? Did you do something wrong, Gao Ran? Otherwise, why would you be so kind? Bu Yuan has been talking about going to Disneyland for 2 months. But you didn't say anything. Zhu Lingling glared at Gao Ran. Of course not. Don't talk nonsense. I've been really busy recently. Mian asked me to investigate someone, so we went together. Don't use Mian as an excuse. You're just a director. Why are you showing off? You even drive a Land Rover. If I didn't know better, I'd think you got it through corruption. Don't accuse me. I'm clean. Drive the Land Rover for me tomorrow, Zhu Lingling ordered. No problem, honey. Then I'll drive your Q5. In your dreams. Haven't you been advocating environmentally friendly new energy sources recently? I bought you an electric car. You can drive that one. It's in the garage. You bought an electric car? Gao Ran was dumbfounded. Yes. What brand? BYD. Zhu Lingling crossed her legs and said matter-of-factly. Gao Ran. Honey, did I do something to offend you recently? Gao Ran felt it wasn't a coincidence that his Land Rover was confiscated and replaced with a BYD. Chapter 3767. What do you think? Zhu Lingling widened her eyes as if she wanted to eat him alive. I really don't know what's going on. Gao Ran really didn't know what was going on with his wife. He even suspected that Lingling had gotten a new chapter too early. If you don't know, then forget it. Let's settle the car. Hey, honey. Gao Ran really didn't want his luxury car to die for no reason, so he wanted to explain. When Zhu Lingling walked past him, she grabbed his collar. A t-shirt costs more than 3,000 yuan. I was so nice to you before. Don't wear this Burberry. I went to the supermarket today and bought you a lot of Jeeves and Nadia. Gao Ran. Oh yeah, and your leather shoes. You work overtime all day, and you don't need to wear handmade Italian shoes. What a waste. You can wear the ones I bought wholesale from Taobao. They cost 98 yuan a pair. I bought you 10 pairs. They'll be enough for you to wear for a while. Gao Ran. Also, the cigarettes you smoke, don't be so high profile outside. Otherwise, if some attentive media takes photos of you and spreads it, won't your reputation be ruined? In the future, just change it to 7 yuan. The cigarettes were also changed from 35 yuan to 7 yuan. Gao Ran felt like the sky was falling. Yes, the sky was falling. Honey, you don't want to live with me anymore, right? If you want a divorce, I'll agree. But I'll give you the house, the car, and our son. You'll leave with nothing. Why? Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Why? Don't you know what's going on? Zhu Lingling raised her voice with her hands on her hips. What do I know? Lingling, stop messing around. It's the middle of the night. I'm starving. Cook me a bowl of noodles, good girl. Good girl, my ass. Cook yourself if you want to eat noodles. I'm not your nanny. I'm not going to serve you. Zhu Lingling waved her hand. He picked up Gao Ran's bag and took out his wallet. She took out his credit card right in front of him. Honey, I've already given you my salary card. Aren't you going to keep my credit card? You have a cafeteria at work and a car to drive back and forth. What's the point of having so much money? Then I'll cheer you on. Here, gas card. Zhu Lingling seemed to have prepared for this. She threw a gas card on the coffee table. Gao Ran was speechless. Then I'll buy water outside when I'm thirsty. I'm sending you a WeChat red packet now. From now on, your monthly allowance will be 500 yuan. With a ding, Gao Ran received a WeChat transfer of 500 yuan to his phone. She raised her head and looked at Zhu Lingling's expression. She really didn't seem to be joking. Honey, I'll tell you. Before Gao Ran could finish his words, Zhu Lingling turned around and entered the bedroom, slamming the door shut. He was left in the living room dumbfounded. At this moment, Gao Buyuan got up and went to pee. Seeing his dad sitting in the living room, looking like he had lost his soul, he felt very sympathetic. He walked over and patted Gao Ran's shoulder with his chubby little hand. Dad, did you do something wrong to Mom? Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Last month, I secretly bought more than 200 yuan of Mobile Legends behind your mom's back. Does that count? Gao Buyuan was speechless. Anyways, if you did something wrong, you should go and apologize. Otherwise, your bad luck is just beginning. After speaking with deep meaning, Gao Buyuan walked toward the bathroom. Gao Ran was speechless. While he was in a daze, Gao Ran's phone rang again. Chief Gao, are you resting? Chapter 3768. Gao Ran frowned and glanced at his cell phone. It was a text message, not a WeChat message. Who is this? Director Gao. I'm Chen Yuning. Little Chen, what's up? Gao Ran was still in a bad mood after being scolded by his wife, so he wasn't in the mood to chat with his subordinates. Oh, I have some work details to report. Can you add me on WeChat? Work stuff? You can talk to your boss, Section Chief Liu. He'll tell me in the meeting tomorrow. Oh, okay. Have a good rest. I won't disturb you. Okay. By the way, Chief Gao, my relative brought some specialty tea leaves from his hometown. I heard that you like tea a lot, so I left some for you. Please don't think that I'm giving you a gift. After all, this thing is cheap. It's only a few hundred yuan, so it's not worth it. Right, hee. I just remembered that you like tea. Thank you. Gao Ran sounded distant and didn't reply to Chen Yuning. He was in no mood to pay attention to this new female college student in the bureau. So many things had happened recently. Since the vampire case, the provincial government had been dissatisfied with him. Gao Ran was nervous in every meeting, so he focused all his attention on the case and had no time to look at beautiful women. However, he didn't know what women were capable of, which led to Zhu Lingling's misunderstanding. Seeing his wife so angry, Gao Ran didn't dare to add fuel to the fire. So, he took a blanket and slept in the living room. Why didn't he sleep in the guest bedroom? It was simple. That way, he would look pitiful and win sympathy, so that his wife wouldn't be angry. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Zhu Lingling and her son woke up. When they walked into the living room, they saw a neatly folded blanket and pillows. Mom, Dad did sleep in the living room last night. It's so cold. Will he catch a cold? Buyuan mumbled. He's as strong as a cow. How can he catch a cold? Zhu Lingling said grumpily. There's breakfast on the table. Buyuan walked over with Zhu Lingling following behind him. On the table were deep-fried dough sticks, soy milk, tea eggs, and sliced ham. There was also a note on it. I bought breakfast. Eat it while it's hot. I'm going to work. Wow, Dad actually knows to buy us breakfast. He's feeling guilty. That's why he's acting like a lackey. Mom, what did my dad do wrong? Why did you confiscate his Land Rover? Buyuan was very curious, but he didn't dare to ask because his mom was in a bad mood last night. Buyuan, if your dad has a mistress outside, will you forgive him? Ugh, that's impossible. Why do you trust him so much? Is it because he is your father? Zhu Lingling looked at her son curiously. No. Dad said that no vixen can beat a tigress like you. Zhu Lingling. Did your father tell you that? Zhu Lingling was so angry that her face turned pale. Did I say something wrong again? It seems I have to get back the 500 WeChat red packet tonight. Gao Ran is a bastard. Mom, you can't call Dad a bastard. Gao Buyuan looked displeased. Why? Because if he's a bastard, then I'm a little bastard, right? Gao Buyuan looked baffled. Zhu Lingling. Are we going to have breakfast or not? Buyuan was so scared that he didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Of course we're going to have breakfast. If we don't, are we going to feed it to the mistress? Then Zhu Lingling sat down with her son to have breakfast. In the municipal bureau, Gao Ran sneezed several times, wondering who was scolding him. Director Gao, tea leaves. Chen Yuning placed a gift box on Gao Ran's desk. Okay, thank you. Director Gao, have you had breakfast? Chen Yuning asked with a shy smile. Chapter 3769. Yeah, I did. Gao Ran turned on the computer to prepare for the meeting. Chief Gao, I recently bought an oven at home, so I made a lot of cookies. I brought some for everyone. You can have some too. While speaking, Chen Yuning took out a small bag with exquisite packaging. Oh no, I don't like sweet things. To her surprise, Gao Ran refused without hesitation. You can give some to your baby. Chen Yuning smiled sweetly without changing her expression. All men would like sweet things, right? To her surprise, Gao Ran immediately replied, No, my wife won't let my son have sweet things, because she's afraid his teeth won't be good. Except for my daughter-in-law, no one can give my son sweet things. Daughter-in-law. Chen Yuning was puzzled, wondering why Director Gao's son was only a little more than 3 years old. Huh, she's the daughter of one of my brothers. We arranged a marriage when she was a baby, Gao Ran explained. Oh, I see. Okay. Seeing Gao Ran refuse, Chen Yuning put down the tea leaves and walked out in disappointment. Gao Ran continued to prepare for the meeting. He still didn't realize this female college student's feelings for him. Of course, Gao Ran didn't think about it at all. He had been busy all day. Besides, it was normal for new colleagues to give each other gifts to get along well with each other. Chen Yuning's kindness to Gao Ran wasn't obvious and wouldn't be noticed by her colleagues. Whenever she wanted to give something to Gao Ran, she would prepare more gifts for everyone. So her colleagues in the municipal bureau liked her very much. There were also countless male colleagues who were secretly in love with her. After sending her son to school, Zhu Lingling received a call from Huamin. Huamin's chauffeur drove the car to her apartment building and picked up Zhu Lingling. You can tell me the address. I can go there by myself. Why did I bother you to come here? Zhu Lingling couldn't bear to look at Huamin's big belly. Huamin smiled. It's fine. I'm not the one driving it anyway. By the way, you said you would bring me to a place. Where is it? You'll know when we get there. Huamin pretended to be mysterious. Were you two still peaceful yesterday? Huamin asked. Peace my ass. This guy is getting more and more annoying. He came home so late and wanted me to make him supper. Did he think I was his nanny? I scolded him. After that, Zhu Lingling told Huamin about what had happened last night. Ha ha ha. You can still laugh. Lingling, you're a capitalist. You control your husband so much. Plus, is it really okay for a bureau chief to wear Taobao shoes, drive a BYD, and smoke cigarettes that cost 7 yuan? Won't people laugh at you? He's the one who's being laughed at, not me. I don't care. Plus, even if he's being laughed at, it's better than being seduced by a vixen. Don't think too much about it. It's nothing. After we go to this place today, I'll tell you about it. You'll understand. Huamin decided to tell Lingling that Gao Ran was actually kept in the dark, and that everything was done by that flirtatious bitch. Otherwise, Gao Ran would be tortured by his wife, even though he kept his chastity. Okay, I'll listen to you. After all, Mian is so smart. Zhu Lingling was always in a good mood when she was with Huamin. During the years they were together, she remembered everything Huamin had done for her. This was a true bestie, China's best bestie. When they passed by a supermarket, Huamin asked the chauffeur to stop the car and got out with Zhu Lingling to buy some expensive health products. There were bird's nest and sea cucumber. Mian, tell me, who are you buying these for? Zhu Lingling was curious. For the vixen's parents. Huamin was extremely calm. Chapter 3770. What? Zhu Lingling panicked when she heard that. Did I hear you right? You're buying these for the vixen's parents? Zhu Lingling was going crazy. Huamin had just paid 10,000 yuan for these things. These tonics were top grade. Why would he give them to the vixen's parents? Don't worry. Watch me. Huamin only smiled but didn't explain. Half an hour later, the car stopped by a rice noodle shop. The shop wasn't big and looked old, but there were many customers, probably because it was almost lunchtime. Zhu Lingling got out of the car with a dark face. She wondered what kind of parents raised a vixen who seduced other women's husbands. Huamin's bodyguards helped her take down the tonics and walked in. Miss, do you want some rice noodle? An old woman in her 50s wearing an apron was very enthusiastic. Auntie, is this Chen Yuning's house? Yes. Do you know our Yuning? Huamin and Zhu Lingling exchanged a look and said with a smile, Hello, Auntie. This is the wife of Director Gao of the Municipal Public Security Bureau. We're here to visit the family of our employee on behalf of our leader. Oh, Director Gao's wife, please come in. Hearing that they were Director Gao's wife, the auntie immediately invited Huamin and Zhu Lingling in. Auntie, don't be nervous. We heard that your family has a rice noodle shop, and the noodles are delicious. So we came to have a look. And bought some things for you and uncle. With that, Huamin asked the bodyguards to put the things on the table. No. They're too expensive. How can we accept them? Besides, you're the family of our leader. We should give you gifts, not our subordinates. The auntie understood. Zhu Lingling was not very happy, and her face was cold the whole time. She listened to Huamin's words. It's okay, don't worry. As for Yuning, her performance in the unit is also very good. Everyone likes her very much. Consider it a benefit for our employees. Since Huamin said so, the auntie didn't refuse anymore. He happily accepted the gift. Have you had lunch? Shall I make some rice noodles for you? Okay, thank you, auntie. Huamin smiled. After that, the auntie went to make the noodles and happily talked to her husband in the kitchen. Zhu Lingling's face was filled with disbelief. Mian, even if our money is wasted, we can't let them take advantage of us. Have you lost your mind because of your pregnancy? Don't worry, this is called strategy. Huamin sipped his tea leisurely. After a while, the auntie came over with a bowl of steaming hot rice noodles. I don't know what flavor you like, but seeing that this girl is pregnant, I thought that she shouldn't eat anything too spicy, so I made a pot of mushroom soup. I like mushroom soup. Thank you, auntie. Huamin thanked her with a smile, and then looked at the auntie. If you're not busy, sit down and let's talk. Okay. The auntie seemed a little reserved. After all, she was facing the wife of the director. Auntie, Yuning is a girl. Why did she choose to go to the public security university? It's so dangerous. Huamin asked deliberately. At the mention of this, the auntie's chatterbox was completely opened. Isn't that right? Her father and I didn't support it, but the child didn't listen to us. She insisted on going. Fortunately, it's an office job, and she doesn't have to go out on missions. We're relieved. Does Yuning have a boyfriend? Huamin pretended to ask casually as he ate the rice noodles. No, this child is busy. Many relatives and friends introduced her to him, but she won't look at him. Her father and I are worried sick. It's okay. Maybe it's not fate yet. I don't think so. I think she has a target, Zhu Lingling said abruptly. Chen Yuning's mother was slightly surprised. Chapter 3771. Cough. What our bureau chief's wife means is that your Yuning might have someone she likes, which is why she refused to go on a blind date. With that, Huamin kicked Zhu Lingling under the table, telling her not to talk nonsense. That's possible. I'll ask her when I have the chance. The auntie seemed to believe this. Huamin immediately said, Auntie, Yuning is the only daughter in your family, right? Yeah, to be honest, my man and I only had Yuning after 8 years of marriage. We love her so much. And I can see that Yuning has been educated well by you. So when our colleagues at the unit gossip, we can't tolerate it. Gossiping? What gossiping? The auntie wasn't stupid. She immediately understood the meaning behind Huamin's words. There are too many colleagues at the unit. They say that Yuning, a little girl who just graduated, relied on her eyebrows to curry favor with the leaders of the city bureau. But most of the leaders of the city bureau are married. And they are all married men. So when these words spread, it's so unpleasant to hear. Oh my God, why would someone say that? Our daughter would never do that. Her father and I are both people who care about face, and we can't bear to hear this the most. Moreover, Yuning wouldn't do it either. The auntie seemed very nervous, and kept saying that Yuning wouldn't do it. Zhu Lingling almost rolled her eyes. She thought to herself, your daughter is already wearing a couple's outfit with my husband, and you still don't know how to do it. Putting on an act. It could be seen that the two elders of the Chen family were honest people. This way, it would be easier to handle. Huomin smiled and quickly said, Auntie, don't worry. These are all rumors. Later, when our bureau chief heard about it, he scolded everyone and didn't let them spread the rumors. The bureau chief is a wise person. His wife feels that this matter has a bad impact on your Yuning, so she wants to come with us to express her condolences and see you. Thank you, Madam Bureau Chief. The auntie looked at Zhu Lingling with a sincere expression. Zhu Lingling squeezed out a smile and didn't say anything. After eating the rice noodles, Huomin and Zhu Lingling left without lingering. Before she left, Huomian said to Chen Yuning's mother in a meaningful tone, Auntie, your Yuning is excellent. If you don't have a suitable boyfriend, our director's wife can introduce you to him. Don't hesitate. Thank you, sir. The auntie thanked Huomian profusely. After they got into the car, Zhu Lingling couldn't help but ask, Mian, what are you doing? I don't get it. You bought over 10,000 yuan worth of stuff for them. Isn't this too wasteful? Zhu Lingling was still thinking about the 10,000 yuan. Don't worry, there will be a good show. I don't want to give him a hard time. I'm going to divorce him. I'll tell my in-laws this week. You're so impatient. Huomin poked the tip of Zhu Lingling's nose with his finger. Of course. If your husband cheated on you, how could you stay calm? You've misunderstood Gao Ran this time. Huomin told Zhu Lingling the whole story, and showed her the results of the investigation. Chen Yuning bought these clothes herself to make you misunderstand her. To tell you the truth, Gao Ran still doesn't know Chen Yuning has feelings for him. Tell me, did you misunderstand him by doing this? Is this for real? Don't lie to me. Zhu Lingling was dumbfounded. We've known each other for so many years. I'd rather lie to Gao Ran than to you, sis. This woman did this too. That's right, Miss Zhu Lingling. You've indeed met a high-level vixen. She's much more cunning than you are. If I didn't help you, you would have fallen into her trap and divorced your husband a long time ago. After she pushed you out of the picture, she's slowly wooing your husband. She's amazing, right? Huomian explained. Zhu Lingling's heart sank when she heard his words, wondering how such a terrifying woman could exist in the world. Mian, what should we do next? Zhu Lingling was alarmed. Chapter 3772. It's simple. Let's see how she reacts. Then I'll think about how to deal with it. She's a vixen. How can she react? Zhu Lingling was furious with Chen Yuning. She wished she could go to the Municipal Public Security Bureau, drag that woman out, and scratch her face. But Huomin wouldn't let her do that. First, she would embarrass herself and Gao Ran. After all, he was the director. If he became a laughingstock because of this, he would lose his prestige in the future. Second, under normal circumstances, when the wife made a scene at the company, and the mistress pretended to be innocent and pitiful, most men didn't like their wives who were as fierce as a tigress. Therefore, Huomin didn't want Lingling to lose in temperament, which was why he put on a show today. Mian, do you think the show will work? Let's wait and see. Chen Yuning was a high-level vixen, but Huomin wasn't a pushover either, and was confident he could deal with her. More importantly, Gao Ran didn't know about it, and was kept in the dark. Lingling, you can't misunderstand Gao Ran anymore. If you continue the Cold War, it'll hurt your relationship, and that woman will take advantage of it. You'll cry. Huomin advised Zhu Lingling again. Got it. I'll change it when I get back. Hearing that her man didn't know about it and was wronged, Zhu Lingling was pleased. Okay, let's talk on WeChat later. I'll go back to the hospital. Okay. After asking the driver to drive Zhu Lingling home, Huamin went back to the hospital. In the evening, Chen Yuning came back from work and went to the shop to help. The Chen family wasn't a rich family, but they had made a lot of money with this small shop. Therefore, they doted on their only daughter very much. After work, Chen Yuning didn't need to take her salary home. She lived off her parents and used their money. When she ran out of money, her parents would subsidize her. That was why she had the money to buy the same clothes as Gao Rance. Of course, it was only for the mid-range ones. She couldn't afford the high-end ones at all. Mom, you bought bird's nest? Chen Yuning was surprised to see the bird's nest and sea cucumber on the counter. No, how could I bear to buy this? It's so expensive. It's your leader. No, it's the leader's wife who came to visit us today and bought it for us. Leader's wife. Chen Yuning was even more baffled. Yes, Director Gao's wife is here today. Hearing this, Chen Yuning's heart skipped a beat. Then he asked guiltily, What? What is she doing here? She said that you're doing very well at work, and Director Gao often praises you for your professionalism. She came to visit us and bought a lot of things for me and your dad. We were so embarrassed. Mrs. Gao is so beautiful and gentle. Director Gao is so lucky. I heard that the young master is already several years old. How lucky. Chen Yuning didn't pay attention to her mother's words. She was smart enough to know that Zhu Lingling wouldn't visit her for no reason. She had thought that Zhu Lingling would talk to her in private, but to her surprise, Zhu Lingling didn't come. Instead of coming to her, Zhu Lingling came to her home. Mom, what else did she say to you? Chen Yuning was a little scared. Her parents were honest people. What if Zhu Lingling said something she shouldn't? By the way, there's another girl with her. She's also very nice. She's pregnant and looks like she's about to give birth. She keeps saying that our rice noodles are delicious. Hearing this, Chen Yuning's face turned livid. Zhu Lingling's bestie? Pregnant? Was she the legendary Huamin? Chapter 3773. What's wrong, Yuning? You don't look well. Seeing her daughter's strange look, Mrs. Chun was a little worried. Oh, I'm fine. Yuning, you must thank her later. I heard from the neighbors that these supplements cost more than 10,000 yuan. Your director's wife bought them with her own money. She's a good person. Chen Yuning was no longer in the mood to listen to her mother's nagging. She only felt agitated. I got it, Mom, she said perfunctorily, and turned to walk out of the store and into the first floor of the backyard. Zhu Lingling, I underestimated you and forgot that you have a powerful bestie. Chen Yuning had mixed feelings. She had investigated Zhu Lingling. She thought Zhu Lingling was useless except for her good looks, good fortune, and the fact that she gave birth to a son for the Gao family. Besides, Zhu Lingling was hot-tempered and not very smart. She had thought she could trick Zhu Lingling with some tricks. But to her surprise, Zhu Lingling didn't do it herself, but brought a helper. You want to play with me? Okay, let's try it. Chen Yuning smiled viciously. That night, Gao Ran got home at 7 p.m. Of course, he didn't drive a BYD, because he didn't want to be laughed at by his colleagues in the municipal bureau. So, when he took a taxi to work, he told his colleagues that his car had been serviced. Exhausted, Gao Ran returned home, and was shocked again when he entered the house. The house was clean and tidy. Zhu Lingling was sitting on the sofa in a black lace nightgown. Their son was nowhere to be seen. Honey, you're back. Zhu Lingling walked over with great enthusiasm, and took the bag from Gao Ran's hand. Who are you? How dare you possess my wife? Get out of here, or I'll show you your true form. Damn you! What are you talking about? Zhu Lingling's smile lasted for less than 3 seconds before she grabbed Gao Ran's ear. That's right. That's my wife. Gao Ran was relieved, or he would have thought it was a female ghost. Honey, where's our son? I sent her to Mom's house. Your mother's house or my mother's house? Gao Ran was stunned. Of course it's your mother's house. She said that there's no Wi-Fi at her house. It's not like you don't know that. Haha, my son really can't live without the internet. Okay, wash your hands and eat. There's still food. Gao Ran did not dare to have any hope, thinking that he would be treated the same as last night. Therefore, when he came back, he had a simple bite at the snack bar at the entrance. When he heard that there was food, he was very surprised. After washing his hands, Zhang Xian walked over to the dining table, only to be stunned once more. There were a total of 10 dishes. Even on his birthday, Zhu Lingling had never been so diligent. Honey, what day is it today? There aren't many days. Ah, that's impossible. Hurry up and tell me. You've been acting weird recently. Are you seeing someone outside? Gao Ran joked. Yeah, I'm dating old Wang next door. Wu Yuan is also brother Wang's son. Gao Ran was speechless. Stop fooling around. Gao Ran's face darkened. I told you it's not a special day. Are you going to eat or not? Zhu Lingling had run out of patience. Yes. At this moment, Gao Ran did not dare to say that he had already eaten outside, so he could only sit down. He ate slowly with Zhu Lingling. Honey. Yeah. How's the BYD? It's pretty good. I thought about it carefully, and felt that you're the director after all, and that car doesn't suit your status. So I decided to let you drive the Land Rover. Here, I'll return your credit card and your salary. If you treat Qin Shu and the others to a meal or something, won't it be embarrassing if you don't have enough money? By the way, look, I bought you a few new Burberry designs today. This cashmere coat costs 16,000 yuan. The blue one suits you best. It's young. Zhu Lingling showed Gao Ran the handbag. Honey, can't we talk about it all at once? My heart feels like it's on a fucking roller coaster. Gao Ran pulled a long face. He really couldn't stand his wife's sudden change in attitude. Chapter 3774. Zhu Lingling smiled slightly. It's okay. Haha. Honey, I was just kidding with you yesterday. Gao Ran. Then you're really too much. I can't take it anymore. Little fool, wasn't I just testing you? Do you love me or not? Okay, honey. But can you not test me like this again? I'm going to have a heart attack. Okay. I promise I won't test you again. Honey, have some oysters to nourish yourself. Let's make love tonight. Gao Ran. Okay. Don't make love to me. I'll be thankful if you don't torture me. My ancestor. Seeing Zhu Lingling return to normal, Gao Ran heaved a sigh of relief. Otherwise, he would have gone to Huamin and asked him what had happened. Zhu Lingling wouldn't tell Gao Ran anything about Chun Yuning since Huamin had told her not to mention this woman to Gao Ran. She didn't want this woman to exist in front of Gao Ran. In the blink of an eye, another week had passed. Su Yu and Han Yueao were both discharged from the hospital. Su Yu had planned to give Han Yueao an extra month of vacation, but the girl refused to stay. In fact, the main reason was that she didn't like seeing Zheng Ro. In fact, Zheng Ro had recovered long ago, but she refused to leave Southside. No one could do anything about it. He was rich. Even if the hospital was closed down, he had the capital to do so. Su Yu's discharge from the hospital was grand. Tang Chuan arranged a motorcade to pick him up in the morning. Porsches, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Maseratis, and Aston Martins were everywhere. Su Yu put his arm around his mother's shoulder, looking refreshed. Standing beside him, Huamin looked at the luxurious cars in the courtyard and said jokingly, "It looks like a gangster is released from prison." "Don't talk nonsense. I'm a good youth of the motherland." Su Yu chuckled. Yes. Lord Su, congratulations on your recovery today. Don't come back if there's nothing important. Southside doesn't welcome you, Huamin said. I like the sound of that. But my discharge today is such a big deal. Vice Director Hua, aren't you going to say anything? What do you mean? Huamin asked deliberately. Don't you have any red packets or anything? A gift is fine too. Is there anyone as thick-skinned as you to ask for a gift? You said that I'm thick-skinned, so naturally, I'm capable of doing anything. But, as my friend, aren't you embarrassed that you didn't prepare anything? Who said I didn't prepare anything? Take it. Huamin took a large white bag from the nurse beside him. It was a large bag with the logo of Southside. What is it? Why is it so mysterious? Su Yu was a little excited. They're all anti-inflammatory drugs. Remember to take them. Humph. Boring. Hearing that it was anti-inflammatory drugs, Su Yu immediately lost interest. Lord Su, let's go. Get in the car. I'll celebrate for you. Tang Chuan drove an orange-yellow Aston Martin. It was a rare luxury car in the city, and the starting price was 25 million yuan. Therefore, there was a difference between rich and powerful people. For example, Qin Chu, Su Yu, Tang Chuan, and Wei Liao were all super rich. Hey wait, where's Han Yueyao? Hearing that Han Yueyao was discharged today, Su Yu wanted to take her with him. She said she wanted to sleep a little more and be discharged in the afternoon. Hu Min said, "This lazy pig. She's not happy to be discharged." Su Yu smiled and didn't think much of it. Then he left with Lady Su, Tang Chuan, and the others. "Mian, when you get off work, come to my house for dinner. I'll cook delicious food for everyone tonight." Before leaving, Lady Su reminded her with a smile. "Okay, Auntie. See you tonight." As soon as Su Yu and the others left, Hu Min saw a man riding a Harley into the hospital. "Hey Vice Director, look. That's the man who paid for Miss Han's medical expenses. Everyone says he's Miss Han's boyfriend. But didn't Miss Han say she's Lord Su's girlfriend? Is this a love triangle? What a messy relationship," the nurse gossiped. Hu Min looked at the man's back with a deep gaze. Chapter 3775. Lin Heng parked his motorcycle, took off his helmet, and walked in. He seemed to know Hu Min. When he passed by Hu Min, he glanced at her. But they didn't speak. When Lin Heng came in, Han Yueyao had already packed her clothes and daily necessities. "Ah, why are you alone? Where's Xiao Xiao?" She had contacted Su Xiaoxiao on WeChat last night. However, she didn't see Su Xiaoxiao today. Instead, she saw Lin Heng. Han Yueyao felt weird with this man. "Xiaoxiao called me and said she couldn't come out. She has a job." "Oh, I see. It's okay. I can walk by myself. I'll drive you. You don't have much. I can tie it to the back of the motorcycle." "No, it's okay, Before Han Yueyao could finish, Lin Heng picked up the big bag Xiao Xiao had packed on the bed and walked out. "Yu?" Lin Fan was speechless. Lin Heng's personality wasn't much better than Su Yu's. Although he wasn't as hot-tempered, he was very strange. In the morning, Lady Su came to ask her about it. She asked if she wanted to leave the hospital with Su Yu, but she refused. She didn't want to be so high-profile anymore. The past was fake. It was just an act for others to see. So it didn't matter anymore. Now that she had different feelings for Su Yu, she didn't want to use the name and halo of Su Yu's girlfriend to do evil. But she had never done that. Lin Heng packed up his things, and Han Yueyao had no choice but to follow him out. She happened to walk across from Hu Min. "Didn't you say you'd be discharged in the afternoon?" "No. I was bored, so I went back." "You finished the discharge procedures?" Hu Min asked. "Yeah, they're all done. Thank you for taking care of me, Sister Mian." Han Yueyao smiled. She really liked Hu Min. "Okay, let's not talk about this. Are you going to dinner tonight?" Han Yueyao knew Hu Min was asking about the dinner party Lady Su held at the Su family's mansion. "Let me see. I haven't decided yet." "Well, if you're going, send me a WeChat message, and I'll get the driver to pick you up. Otherwise, it'll be inconvenient to get a car to the villa at such a late hour." "Okay, I'll go now, Sister Mian." "All right." After greeting Han Yueyao, she left the hospital. Hu Min didn't ask her about Lin Heng. Hu Min believed she was a smart girl. She wouldn't fall into a love triangle for no reason, so she never listened to such unreliable gossip. Han Yueyao wasn't squeamish, and thought riding a motorcycle was just the same. Chen Jia, on the other hand, was more straightforward. She had just returned from a business trip, and saw Han Yueyao getting on the motorcycle, so she stopped her. "Yao Yao, what are you doing?" "Xiao Jia, my friend, is here to pick me up from the hospital. I'm leaving." "I know you're discharged today, but you still have injuries on your body. The motorcycle is so bumpy. Do you want to break your bones again?" She. "If you're her friend, why didn't you drive your car? Don't act cool." Have you ever seen anyone pick up a patient on a motorcycle? Chen Jia also reprimanded Lin Heng. In fact, Hu Min had called Chen Jia and asked her to do it. Hu Min didn't want to say it out loud, since it would make it seem like he looked down on the motorcycle. However, riding a motorcycle wasn't good for the recovery of Han Yueyao's wounds. If the ride was too bumpy, her wounds would tear. "I'm sorry. I'll leave the motorcycle here and call a taxi. Wait for me." Embarrassed, Lin Hang ran out to find a taxi. At this moment, Chen Jie took out an envelope and put it in Han Yueyao's purse. Xiao Jie, what are you doing? Han Yueyao was surprised. Chapter 3776. Take it. Sister Mian gave it to you. She didn't give it to you in person, because she didn't want you to be shy. Then Chen Jie turned and left. Han Yueyao looked at the envelope in her bag with complicated feelings. She knew what it was. Lin Hang stopped a taxi, and they went back to the dorm. As expected, Su Xiaoxiao wasn't at the company or the dorm. Yao, what do you want to eat? I'll buy it. Otherwise, you'll have to go out again. It's okay. I'm not hungry. Han Yueyao wasn't in the mood to eat. Then I'll go to the hospital to get my motorcycle. I'll pick you up for dinner later. It's okay. I'm going to the Su family for dinner tonight. Han Yueyao said this on purpose to reject Lin Hang. You still decided to be with him? Lin Hang looked disappointed. Lin Hang, I'm sorry. It's impossible between us. Xiaoxiao likes you very much. Don't talk about it. Go to bed early. Hearing Han Yueyao mention Su Xiaoxiao again, Lin Hang didn't want to continue and left with a lonely expression. Han Yueyao sat in the dorm for a while with complicated feelings. Then she remembered the envelope Chen Jie had given her. She opened it and sure enough, there was 10,000 yuan in cash inside. Huamin must have seen that Han Yueyao's hospitalization expenses were paid by others. Then she didn't work much and didn't have much income. This girl had dignity and couldn't ask Suyu for money. Jokes aside, when it came to a critical moment, she would never be able to open her mouth. Besides, she didn't want to rely on Lady Su's charity. Huamin must have considered this and asked Chen Jie to give Han Yueyao 10,000 yuan for her living expenses. She looked at the money and picked up her phone. She sent a WeChat message to Huamin. Sister Mian, I've received the money. I'm grateful. Take it. Pay me back when you get your salary and have more money. Huamin didn't say it was for free. It wasn't because he wanted the 10,000 yuan back. He said it was for Han Yueyao's dignity and face. This made her feel much better. Sister Mian, the person who took me out of the hospital is the one who paid for my medical expenses. I don't like him. I didn't accept his advances. I know. I believe you have a choice in your personal matters. Huamin did not interfere, nor did he ask. Everyone was waiting for the Su family's dinner that night. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling also went downstairs, planning to go to the Su family to celebrate Suyu. Honey, let's go to Mom's to pick up Buyuan. Little Bean and the others will be there. Let's bring Buyuan. Okay. Gao Ran nodded, and the two of them walked towards the black Land Rover. At this moment, Chen Yuning suddenly appeared beside the car. Chief Gao, Little Chen? Why are you here? Seeing this girl, Gao Ran was surprised. Zhu Lingling's eyes instantly turned cold. Chief Gao, I don't even know where you live. I only know it's in this community. Fortunately, I know your car's license plate, so I've been waiting for you. Chen Yuning's tone was mischievous like an innocent girl, and her smile was sweet. But her smile disgusted Zhu Lingling. She knew that this woman was trying to seduce her husband. At this thought, Zhu Lingling walked up and held Gao Ran's arm. Honey, who's this? Chapter 3777. Oh, this is Little Chen, my colleague from the Municipal Bureau. Gao Ran didn't feel awkward and introduced her to Lingling at once. Hello. Zhu Lingling greeted Chen Yuning with a smile. Sister Lingling, how come you don't know me? Chen Yuning asked in bafflement. How can I know you? Zhu Lingling chuckled and held Gao Ran's arm more tightly. That's strange. Sister Lingling, if you don't know me, why did you go to my house yesterday and buy so many expensive things for my parents? Chen Yuning lifted the bag in her hand, which was indeed from Zhu Lingling and Huamin. What's this? What's the matter? Gao Ran was baffled, wondering what the two women were talking about. Even his Lingling was acting strange today. Before Zhu Lingling could speak, Chen Yuning explained, Director Gao, Sister Lingling took good care of me and felt that my family was in a difficult situation, so she visited my parents on behalf of you. It's a good thing, and I'm very grateful. After all, a superior is considerate of her subordinates. But we're just an ordinary family and can't afford such expensive things. Last night, I discussed it with my parents and decided to return the things. But we accept your kindness. Thank you, Sister Lingling. Thank you, Sister Lingling. Chen Yuning stuffed the bags into Zhu Lingling's hands and bowed sincerely. This made Zhu Lingling feel very awkward. Gao Ran finally understood what was going on. However, Zhu Lingling wasn't a greedy person. Why would she send gifts to Chen Yuning's parents for no reason? If he were an ordinary man, he would have questioned his wife with a livid face. But Gao Ran didn't. After he understood what was going on, he only glanced at Zhu Lingling. Then he said to Chen Yuning with a smile, Lingling went to visit your parents as I told her to. She's been working overtime recently, and the bureau is very busy. It's my idea, but my wife is too honest. I told her to just buy some gifts, but she bought something so expensive. The bureau can't reimburse me. It's good that she returned the gifts. Lingling, when you buy gifts for other employees, buy milk powder and oatmeal instead of bird's nest and sea cucumber. Zhu Lingling was surprised. Then she looked at her husband gratefully and nodded. Okay, honey. I know I'm wrong. Biting her lips, Chen Yuning didn't expect things to turn out like this. She had thought that Zhu Lingling would feel embarrassed and Gao Ran would be mad at Zhu. It was obvious that Gao Ran didn't know about this from the beginning to the end. However, she didn't expect Gao Ran to be the scapegoat, so that Zhu Lingling wouldn't be in a difficult position. I see. I was wondering how Sister Lingling knew me and my family. So it was your idea, Chief Gao. Chen Yuning was embarrassed. Yeah, my wife doesn't know her colleagues in the bureau well. She just follows my orders, Gao Ran replied calmly. Thank you, Chief Gao. You're welcome. Little Chen, do you have anything else to say? No. Then we'll go now. Our friend is discharged from the hospital, and we're going to celebrate. Excuse us. With that, Gao Ran held Zhu Lingling's hand, got into the Land Rover, and left. Chen Yuning's face was pale. She had calculated everything, but there was one thing she missed. That was, Gao Ran loved Zhu Lingling very much, and was very protective of her. Zhu Lingling, how can you deserve such a good man? How can you? With hatred in her eyes, Chen Yuning said bitterly as she watched the Land Rover drive away. Chapter 3778. In the car, Gao Ran didn't say a word and just drove quietly. There was no sign of joy, anger, sorrow, or joy on his face. Honey, I'm sorry. Zhu Lingling knew that it was wrong of her to do that, so she quickly apologized. Why are you sorry? About going to Chen Yuning's house. Honey, do you know why Chu and Mian have been in love for so many years, and why no one else can leave them? Gao Ran asked. Why? Because they trust each other so much. I trust you too, but tell me what happened in the past 2 days. You and Huamin must be hiding something from me. Gao Ran had only guessed it because he had too many things to do in the bureau and wasn't in the mood to make a big deal out of it. But Zhu Lingling's abnormal behavior, the questions Huamin asked in the bureau, and her attitude toward Chen Yuning made Gao Ran suspicious. Chief Gao couldn't help but be suspicious. He was a quick-witted and highly logical police officer. He wasn't an ordinary man. So connecting the dots, he was sure of it. It had something to do with Zhu Lingling, Huamin, and Chen Yuning. Zhu Lingling knew her husband was smart and didn't dare to hide the truth from him. So he simply recounted the whole story. Gao Ran was still expressionless when she finished. Honey, I actually trusted you a lot. But after I found those photos, and all sorts of evidence, I thought. Zhu Lingling paused. You thought I cheated on you? Zhu Lingling nodded. I'm sorry, honey. It's all my fault. Mian and Qin Chu both knew you didn't know about it. I was the only one who misunderstood you. Zhu Lingling felt guilty, especially when Gao Ran defended her in front of Chen Yuning. She realized she had misunderstood her husband. It's not your fault. Little Chen is indeed a scheming girl. I don't believe that she bought so many of the same clothes as me by coincidence. Darling, do you believe me? Zhu Lingling was overjoyed. Of course you're my wife. Otherwise, why would I believe an outsider? Zhu Lingling was surprised. She immediately leaned over, held Gao Ran's face, and kissed him on the mouth. Stop fooling around, I'm driving. What if something happens? The traffic police will report that the car got into an accident because the car owner was busy kissing. How can I show my face to the public? Ha ha ha, it's fine. I'll say that I forced you. Zhu Lingling was in a great mood. Get lost, don't talk nonsense. After the couple explained the situation, Zhu Lingling felt as if the rock in her heart had been lifted. Gao Ran's attitude was clear. He had no interest in Shen Yuning, just as Huamin had guessed. Darling, you won't betray me, right? You won't like girls who are prettier and cuter than Shen Yuning, right? That's not necessarily true. If you do something crazy again and change my car, clothes, or shoes from Taobao, and then keep my pocket money, I might cheat on you. Haha, I won't do it again. I've decided to give you 500 yuan more pocket money next month. How can 500 yuan be enough? It'll be at least 800 yuan. Gao Ran mumbled as he drove. Haha, that's all you've got. Zhu Lingling suddenly felt happy. It seemed she had been overthinking things. Darling, if that woman fawns on you again, what will you do? Will you lose control sooner or later? After the excitement, Zhu Lingling still thought little Chun was a hidden danger. Chapter 3779. Yeah, I think I won't be able to control myself. Gao Ran said seriously. Zhu Lingling's face fell. She was about to complain when Gao Ran continued. I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself and fire her. Huh? Fire her? Zhu Lingling didn't expect this to happen. Yeah, I don't like scheming women in the office. I can let her keep an eye on me, since I'm a strong-willed man. But what if she destroys someone else's family? Yeah, she's a ticking time bomb wherever she goes. So, I think we should find a chance to transfer her to the women's prison. They're short of staff, Gao Ran said with a straight face. Zhu Lingling was overjoyed to hear that. Honey, I love you. At this moment, I love the People's Republic of China too. You've risen to this level? Zhu Lingling nodded vigorously. Yeah, as a family member of a cadre, I have to be aware of this. The couple bickered all the way to pick up Bu Yuan, and then went to the Su family's house. The Su family's house was very lively tonight. Su hadn't been home for dinner for a long time. It was a rare occasion for such a big gathering. Mr. Su and Lord Su were also there, including some of the Su family's close friends and relatives. There were a total of 4 tables set up. They were all dishes prepared by Lady Su. Qin Chu, Huamin, Wei Liao, Xiaowei, Gao Ran, Lingling, Tang Chuan, Qin Ning, Shen Mingxi, Wei Ying, Han Yueyao, and Su Xiaoxiao. Su Xiaoxiao was a stranger to them, so she sat at the Su family's table. Han Yueyao had wanted to sit in a corner, but Lady Su arranged for her to sit beside Su Yu. Sister Han, why didn't you stay at home after you were discharged? Why are you here? Su Yu asked with a smile. I heard that there's free food and drink here. And the food is pretty good, so I came to scrounge a meal. You're really shameless, aren't you? I'm willing. Don't be in a hurry to bicker with each other. Why don't you share your sentiments with us? Tang Chuan interrupted. What feelings? Su Yu was puzzled. A speech after surviving a calamity, such as thanking everyone, cherishing life, and so on. My thoughts are my life is so tough. Haha, even the king of hell isn't willing to accept me. Su Yu was in a good mood. He picked up his cup and drank alone. What about you, student Han? Don't you want to say something? Tang Chuan teased her. I cherish my life and stay away from Su Yu. Hearing her words, everyone burst into laughter. Fuck. You're talking as if I'm a jinx. Can you do it or not? Su Yu glared at her from the corner of his eyes. You're eating my food and drinking my water. Isn't that what you like? Han Yueyao retorted. Everyone laughed along with her. Handsome Su, you seem to have met your match. Little Bean said with a gossipy smile. Match. I laughed at her face. She's young, so I won't lower myself to her level. Then Su Yu began to talk nonsense with the others. Lord Su liked the twins very much, so the twins sat with Grandpa Su Yu and his parents. Bu Yuan and Yinshu also went over to play. Shen Mingxi and Wei Ying were a bit awkward. Since Wei Liao was there, they didn't dare to talk to each other. Wei Ying sat beside Wei Liao, while Shen Mingxi sat with a group of rich people at the other table. They didn't talk to each other the whole time. When Wei Ying went to the washroom, Shen Mingxi followed her and wanted to talk to her. Ing! He blocked Wei Ying in the washroom behind the Su family's mansion. Chapter 3780. Big Brother Mingxi. You don't look well. Haven't you been sleeping well? Yeah. I have insomnia. What happened? Shen Mingxi looked at Wei Ying with concern. It's stubborn insomnia. It's been a long time. It happens every once in a while. Did it happen before? Wei Ying knew Shen Mingxi was talking about the time they were married. Yeah. Maybe you didn't notice it back then. Shen Mingxi didn't pay attention to Wei Ying before and didn't notice it. Have you seen a doctor? Yes. The doctor said insomnia isn't easy to treat and told me to adjust myself. I think you should see a Chinese medicine doctor. I know a friend who specializes in Chinese medicine. His family is from an aristocratic family, and his grandpa is a good doctor. My mom is treating cervical spondylosis there. You can go and see her when you have time. Okay, Wei Ying nodded. Then they fell into an awkward silence again. Then, if there's nothing else, I'll go back to my seat. Okay. Just like that. Wei Ying and Shen Mingxi only talked once, deliberately avoiding Wei Liao. Wei Liao was alert and immediately sent Yunchu to find Wei Ying when she didn't come back. So Wei Yunchu saw his auntie talking with Shen Mingxi. Auntie, you seem to like your ex-husband a lot. Who says so? Everyone on earth knows. Wei Ying. He's indeed handsome. Auntie, you're obsessed with good looks, Wei Yunchu said. You little brat, you know nothing. I know everything. Pudding said Auntie can't forget her ex-husband, but Grandma and Dad don't like him, so they can't be together. Then tell me, what else did your Pudding say? Pudding also said Auntie shouldn't be entangled with her ex-husband anymore. Oh, why? Wei Ying knew the twins of the Qin family were smart and often said shocking things, but she didn't expect them to gossip so much about her love life. Seeing no one was around, Wei Yunchu whispered in Wei Ying's ear. Our Pudding said that your ex-husband is a burden. He has a bad woman pestering him, and Tiantian following him around. If you make up with him, you'll be troubled. So it's better to call it quits. Your Miss Pudding is really far-sighted. Wei Ying didn't know whether to laugh or cry when she heard the kid talk about her so seriously. Auntie, since you're so outstanding, you should find another man. Where are we going to find it? It's not like we're buying groceries at the market. We can just grab a bunch. I have a suitable one. I can keep an eye out for you. You? Forget it. Don't tease me, nephew. Wei Ying was amused by the little guy. I'm serious. If I have uncles who are single and have good conditions, I'll introduce them to you. Stop. Save it. Don't worry about your aunt. Your aunt is as beautiful as a flower. It's not like I can't get married. After the conversation with Wei Yunchu, Wei Ying only thought that her nephew was funny and didn't take his words to heart. After a long time, she realized that she had been blinded by her love and couldn't see the truth that even a 3-year-old kid could see. Han Yueyao didn't drink much and wasn't familiar with the others. So after a few bites, she stood up and walked around the yard. She had wanted to ask Xiao if she wanted to go back to the dorm, but to her surprise, she ran into Su Yu's mother and father. Honey, this is the kid I told you about. Her name is Yao Yao. Do you remember her? Lady Su introduced Han Yueyao to Su Yu's father warmly. Chapter 3781. Uncle Su. Hello. Facing Su Yu's father, Han Yueyao was truly afraid. Mr. Su had a righteous look on his face. She heard that he always had the final say at home, very much like Lord Su. He was also swift and decisive in his work. All these years, the only woman who could receive praise from Su Yu's father seemed to be Huamin. Therefore, even though Han Yueyao didn't want to do anything with Su Yu, she was still scared. Okay. Mr. Su only nodded and didn't say anything else. Yao Yao, why are you here? Are you full? I'm full, so I'm afraid of getting fat. So I came here for a walk. Is the food to your liking? Yes, it's very delicious. Auntie, your chef is really a 5-star chef. This wasn't flattery. Han Yueyao used to think that her father's fish was the best. But today, she ate the steamed grouper made by the Su family's chef. The taste was simply incomparably delicious. Even her father was probably defeated by it. Are you and Xiao Xiao roommates? Mr. Su suddenly asked. Yes, uncle. Xiao Xiao is a naughty child. Her father always asks us to look after her. But she's grown up, and isn't as good-looking as when she was young. Yao Yao, you have to take care of Xiao Xiao. Suyu's mother said this. I will, auntie. Xiao Xiao's personality is quite annoying. She doesn't have many friends here, but she's very close to you. Just now at the dinner table she kept praising you. She said that you're cleaning the dormitory now, and even washing her clothes for her. It's nothing. Xiao Xiao and I are friends. It's nothing, Han Yueyao said humbly. After all, she was in front of an elder, so she didn't dare to be too presumptuous. What's your position in Yu's company? Mr. Su asked again. Han Yueyao was about to say that she was in charge of odd jobs, but on second thought, she realized that it wasn't appropriate. After all, it would seem like Suyu didn't put her in an important position. So she explained tactfully, I'm an assistant in the acting department. Assistant? Mr. Su frowned slightly. Maybe Yu sees that Yao is a newcomer, so he wants her to start from the bottom, Lady Su explained. Child, do you want to enter the entertainment industry? Mr. Su asked again. Before she could finish her sentence, Qin Shu interrupted her. Then she heard Mr. Su say, but once she enters the entertainment industry, she won't be able to enter the Su family. Uncle, to be honest, I've never thought of joining your Su family. Han Yueyao knew her words would cause a commotion. Sure enough, Suyu's father's expression turned ugly when he heard that. Lady Su kept winking at her. She thought to herself, it's fine if you tell me, but how can you say that to Yu's father? So this is just our family's wishful thinking? Suyu's father looked at Suyu's mother with dissatisfaction, then turned around and left. It was obvious that he wasn't happy with her answer. The old man's meaning was clear. If you don't want to be our daughter-in-law, why am I still gossiping with you? Yao. Sai, forget it. I'll talk to you when I'm free. Lady Su sighed slightly. She felt that this child was too straightforward, and offended her husband with her words. Looking at the couple leaving, Han Yueyao puffed up her cheeks and comforted herself. Forget it. It'll probably be difficult to get along with such in-laws in the future. Han Yueyao, don't think too much. That person, he's not your cup of tea. What kind of food? What kind of food do you like? Suyu was about to go to the front hall to get some wine when he heard Han Yueyao mumbling. Oh my God, are you trying to scare me to death? Not expecting Suyu to be behind her, Han Yueyao was shocked. Don't call me mom. I can barely accept it. Call me dad. Suyu deliberately took advantage of her. Chapter 3782. Dad? Are you sure you can take it? Aren't you afraid that your life will be shortened? Han Yueyao wanted to punch him in the face. I'm not afraid. I've been tough since I was a child. Come on, my dear girl, call me that. Go to hell. Seeing Suyu's smug look, Han Yueyao felt like punching him. Okay, I won't argue with you anymore. If you have nothing to do after dinner, go home with Xiao Xiao. What? Are you chasing us away? No, I'm just afraid that Xiao Xiao will get drunk and cause trouble again. She's been doing pretty well lately, so it's best if she doesn't cause trouble. Also, tell her to stay away from her friends. They're a bunch of hooligans. If her dad finds out, he'll skin her alive. Suyu instructed Han Yueyao. Indeed, he seemed to have figured out what kind of person Han Yueyao was, so he felt safe putting Su Xiaoxiao with her. Don't accuse me. Xiaoxiao's friends aren't gangsters. They're all good people. Although she didn't have any feelings for Lin Hang, she didn't want Suyu to call her a gangster. Lin Hang was a good person. Other than his weird personality, he didn't do anything outrageous. Whoa, it's only been a few days, and you're infected. Do you think it's bird flu? How can it be contagious? You're the president of a company. Can't you be more polite? Okay, I won't argue with you. Your mouth is like a machine gun. I think you can shoot it all night. In the end, Suyu surrendered and returned to his seat with the wine. Although Han Yueyao quarreled with Suyu, she didn't know what to say. But she still followed Suyu's instructions and brought Su Xiaoxiao back to Imperial Star's dorm early. These elders preach to me every time they see me. They're so annoying. I shouldn't have gone. On the way back, Su Xiaoxiao complained about the elders of the Su family. They're just concerned about you. If they don't care about you, no one will care about you. Just be content. Han Yueyao persuaded her. You're right. I know. Anyway, they're all better than my dad. Su Xiaoxiao complained in a low voice. Your dad might actually love you. What do you know? There's only a vixen in his heart. He's long forgotten about me and my mother. It's only been a few years since my mother died. And he's already hugging another woman. Su Xiaoxiao seemed to be very excited when she mentioned her father. Yao Yao, do you know? I've always felt that men are unreliable. In a couple, if the man is sick, the wife will definitely take care of him without any complaints. However, if the wife is sick, the man will most likely give up on her. When I was young, Uncle Yu, who lived in the same courtyard as me, used to be very loving with his wife. Later, when his wife was paralyzed due to a stroke, he didn't want to take care of her and sent her to a sanatorium. After that, he didn't care about her. Not long after, he met a woman and brought her home. He even held a banquet for her. His little brother was crying so pitifully at that time. At that time, my mother wasn't dead yet. She even told me that a child without a mother was like a blade of grass. Maybe it was because she had drunk some wine, but Su Xiaoxiao was particularly sad when she talked about her childhood. Xiaoxiao, it's all in the past. Your mother is in the other world. She'll protect you. I don't believe in ghosts and gods. I only know that a dead person is dead. There's no such thing as past or present life. Yao Yao, as long as we're alive, we'd better live according to our wishes. We mustn't mistreat ourselves. So I plan to do something to Lin. Do something. Hearing the word, Han Yueyao's eyelids twitched, wondering what Su Xiaoxiao was up to. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.